And I got a bagel.
Yeah, just waiting for my thing to load.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna monitor from outside here. So what I'm gonna do is, you guys will be fine too because it's gonna get pretty hot in here. You guys all know.
Yeah, yeah.
Whenever I do like 2-hour podcasts with 4 more people plus my body heat, it just adds to it. But I'm gonna be watching you guys from the monitor. So just if you need anything, just like raise your hand. But you'll be fine. And if yeah, we'll be good to go. We'll do mic checks.
All right, give me a second.
Yeah, whenever you guys are ready, we'll do mic checks.
I'm not really crazy about like video IG chicks and all that. Like, I mean, it's not really my thing.
But you found one?
But Ravy Loso, Jesus Christ, yo. Oh my God. Like, damn.
Raby Loso?
Yeah. I think she got the crown now. Like, I really don't think.
How you spell it?
Ravieloso. Really don't think nobody got her beat.
R-A-B like boy?
No, V. R-A-V like G. Like, and I don't really like, it's some people that follow like 500. And, like, I don't, that shit, I like don't really want to be bombarded with that all day. I'm trying to focus on life.
2.3 million followers?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
It's been
real.
crazy.
Her body's real?
I thought it was up until recently. I think.
What did she make
This is retarded. This is.
Yeah, it's like it's like nah. It's
So what's her real story? It says creator of Sweet Blood Apparel.
I don't know. It's
Oh
clothes,
man,
whatever.
this is the apparel.
Clothes, yeah, of course.
no, but like there's an audience for it, especially when you look at like
Right
Fashion Nova
here.
and shit like that.
What?
Right here, yeah, right.
I mean,
Bro, what are you
ain't
talking
buying
about, man?
clothes.
You
There's
cannot
a-
give
man,
me
he
any
is
advice.
horrible.
You cannot give me any advice.
Supposed to be
Is
strong.
that Kevin Hart?
Nah, that's Kanye.
The infamous interview.
Kanye.
That's funny.
Him spazzing on Sway.
You didn't know that was
I saw
Kanye?
that.
Real
saw
talk, I
that.
didn't realize
It's so
sometimes
funny.
either.
Oh, that's funny.
He's like
I
a big
remember that.
baby.
Yeah. Right?
Having a tantrum attack.
That is funny.
You cannot give me any advice.
I can see me having a moment like that.
Why don't you just?
That's what, you know what? I use that for Q a lot. For Q.
I don't give a shit what you say, motherfucker.
Damn.
Alright, cool.
How you feel?
I'ma share it if it sounds good and you got it.
The microphone close to him.
You.
Mic check, check, check.
Alright, so you sound great. Orange is good. Red?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome.
Well, you're gonna.
I know, I'm gonna pull it closer.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
There's just a lot going on right now.
Yellow?
Yo.
You're gonna want to move just a little bit closer because you're probably gonna lean back a little bit. Perfect. Yeah. And then
Yep.
nice.
Yo.
Yeah, you two, or you might want to bring it a little closer because you're probably gonna start feeling comfortable leaning back.
I need to get my life together.
I hear you.
This hour. That 1 hour threw me the hell off this morning.
Don't be sending
Yeah, everybody that's come here said that.
It always
See.
does.
damn work emails. Don't be sending no work emails while we here.
I don't be checking that shit. They be saying, I'll be like, yeah, you said it Sunday.
You know what?
the
I
fuck
don't
do that
expect
mean?
people to check it,
I'm not
but
even
at
looking
least
at it, like,
I don't expect people to check it,
I'm
but I
like
understand.
I'm the tourist not
There are
checking
people
my
who,
emails.
like-
I will see that shit tomorrow. I was like, oh, shit.
See you when I see you.
For real.
It's funny how people have like difference with like time. I learned that, and it's funny how it took college to learn that shit, right? But people who are from like more Western, how it go? People who are from more Western countries are more lax with time and like space. So like we be showing up latest shit to things
So you
where
think that's the West thing?
wait, no, it's not a Western thing. It becomes a Western thing when you
How
like
do we
move
get
to
it
this.
as a people? CP time.
Because we come from a place where we don't give a shit about time.
Right. We always like, I'm like, my mom always say, she's like, you have no concept of time, girl.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Time is a man.
I be trying.
It's a
Because
social
like there's so many other
construct.
You said it's yeah, it is.
It's not even
You guys are
real.
good to go.
Like, what is it even?
Thank you.
If you need anything, let me know. But just do 5 seconds of silence and then just get started. So
Alright.
when I close the doors, don't talk for 5 seconds, and then
Cool.
you guys are good to go. Oh, Omar, you
What's
got
up?
the intro. Did you need me to fade anything? The intro music?
I can fade it on here.
Oh, okay, cool,
Yeah.
perfect, awesome. All right, guys, have a good show.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thanks. You got.
Yeah, this album is dedicated to all the teachers that told me I never amount to nothing. To all the people that lived above the buildings that I was hustling from that called the police on me when I was just trying to make some money to feed my daughter. And all the niggas in the struggle, you know what I'm saying? It's all good, baby. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine. Hanging pictures on my...
What up, y'all?
It's that magic.
What up?
Yeah, yeah. Shout to Big.
Good day.
It was a good day yesterday, March 9th.
I don't know. I don't really like celebrating the day people die, man.
I
I
mean,
don't really like that, especially in a situation where it was like your life was taken. Like I understand, shouting them out and all that, but like, don't do that to me. If the shit happen, like celebrate my birthday or something, or a day I drop my first album or some shit like that. But don't celebrate the day I got murdered, man.
I mean, you don't want people to just be in tears and be
Nah,
sad.
just
You
let
know,
it
some
rock.
type of
Just
celebration.
Don't even mention it. Like, don't make
don't
a
know.
big, I don't know. I'm just weird like that. I hate when people do that.
Not for you.
They do that with Michael too and that shit. I don't like chill.
Yeah.
That's real.
I mean,
I can understand that.
people-
It depends on how you died, I guess. Because
I
like,
don't know.
if you died
I
for a
think you're not
cause,
celebrating the death, though. You
Yeah.
just acknowledge, like how
Yeah.
you said, you're acknowledging it, but you're celebrating his life,
Yeah.
essentially. Only thing I don't like, but I didn't see it this year, in the past few years, people have, like, started, like being very disrespectful on the day of the person's
Yeah,
death.
trying to like get
Social
yeah.
media allows people to do whatever,
Yeah.
and that really pissed. Like, I did like a blog like 2 years ago where I saw someone. They just do like mad disrespectful
Looking
shit.
for
I don't want to give it
attention.
light, but it's just like whack to me. It's just
They'll do Pac shit like
yeah, like fuck
supposed to
Pac.
hit him
Pac
up
was
and all
gay
that.
or whatever.
Yeah,
Even
like,
with Big, I saw some
yeah.
shit. Fuck Big. Big was a homo. How was he a homo?
taking lyrics.
They all take the lyrics,
Yeah,
you know,
I know.
that fuck him in the ass lyric that people, I'm like, son.
People just want attention. It's like the bar gets lower and lower every
But
year
don't-
with this
I thi-
social media shit.
But
for what
weren't we
you gonna do
raised
for
to like
attention.
not disrespect the dead?
Nah,
Yeah, I
yo,
didn't.
rules is out the window, man. Like I think in 2019, what we seeing is rules are out the window. The
Speaking of
morals and
which-
all that shit out the window, yo. Yeah.
Is that where we going? Are we going there?
Where are we going?
Are
with
we
it?
going to MJ or not?
Episode
Rules out the window,
27?
man. The person
Oh,
that to
dear.
fucking hold you down, move your family, fucking pay all your shit. If shit really hit the fan, you'll throw them under the bus.
So anybody at the table, did y'all watch
I watched
the
every
documentary?
second of it because I wasn't going to speak on something that I'm ignorant on. Even though I didn't want to give them no fucking,
Yeah.
no.
I didn't
play,
watch
but
it.
I watched every minute of it.
I'm gonna say
watched
this
it.
though.
I did watch it. That
I
looked
want to
nice.
hear y'all because I value you guys' opinions
listen.
Thank you.
and not, I've been going through it all week with people
Yes, you have.
and not really going through it. It's just that I'm gonna say this: the OGs that are in line or that I follow that are in tune and that offer wisdom, like certain people I've met via social media, they're on the type of time that they're not entertaining it. So that's what I chose to follow. Like, and so I chose to defend from that standpoint of following the OGs that are saying that they're not entertaining it. And then there are people that we need to go and look at what they said. People that are black people that are real, true leaders. I'm calling the OGs. So like, case in point, Dick Gregory spoke on Michael Jackson. We need to go see what he said. Paul Mooney spoke on Michael Jackson. We need to go see what he said. And a couple of people that I've seen. This one man in particular, I don't know who he is. He kind of remains. I've reposted a lot of his shit, but he's someone that is definitely an industry insider. I gather that he's older as well. And he speaks from a standpoint, I don't always agree with everything, but that's how I look at the OGs that I find. Like people that I know have real knowledge of self, that are there to protect and defend us as a people. And that's who I look to for wisdom. And when he's been sharing his stories and stuff, it's just like from a standpoint of not entertaining it. And so I always want to give balance. So I, you know, I didn't see the documentary, so like I said, you guys are going to speak on that. But I, you know, almost had a shadow of a doubt when I read a story, because I was based on all the information. Someone got at me crazy on Instagram. This girl, and I don't know who she is, but she was just like, "You people are sick. You know, there are other victims, and this, that, and the third." I'm like, okay, well, where are the other victims?
Exactly.
You know, because my other point of reference is for 1,000 kids, and I hate when people respond with this, you know, oh, they don't have to, a pedophile, he's not going to, attack everybody. Duh, we know he's not going to attack everybody. But out of 1,000 kids, I do need more than 2 victims to tell their truth. I'm sorry. Because, see, it's another tangent. I want you guys to say your part, but as we are comparing the stories, which I hate that they're getting grouped together, but as you compare with R. Kelly, because I don't ever want to be foolish, right? So R. Kelly's documentary only, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna close out. R. Kelly's documentary only gave credence to what I already believed. So I'm saying that anyone who watched this and is saying that this documentary made you think that he did it, you believed he did it anyway. There's nothing, you know, and I'm also saying it from an ignorant standpoint because I didn't see it. But I believe really and truly, if we're comparing, right, when I watched R. Kelly, I already knew because I saw the tape.
I saw a video of him doing it.
Right. So this only added, what I didn't know is that he had mansions around all the damn US with random, 20 and 30 girls in every city, locking them up. I didn't know all of that. This is why I hate when people say, oh, they could have did it. No, we didn't know that back then. We didn't know that you was like traveling around the whole, basically sex trafficking. No, we did not know that. And so that's why I hate when people bring it up. So if we're going to compare, a documentary should not, and this is where it's another point which I know we'll get to later, but a documentary cannot and should not dictate like what's going on right now. Even with R. Kelly, the documentary should not be a reason why he's going to jail right now. The same thing with Michael Jackson. A documentary is allowing mass media to pull his music, to remove his statues over two people.
Bullshit allegation,
and that's all I have to say for now.
Yeah. Admittedly, last week, we were at 2 different places.
Right. That's why I was wishing he was here because.
However, I don't know. I don't know if it's just that I took time to let it process. I started to watch the document that. Every time I say the freaking word, y'all know what I'm talking about. I couldn't watch it. I stopped.
Why?
I don't know. It started
graphic.
It started off with sharing their stories.
But
right?
remember what I said last week, right? I said based on the article, off of reading the article that Oprah Mag posted the night before, there was no way that you were gonna watch it and think that he did not do it for. Have any doubt. There's no way because reading the article,
because the journalistic
not
integrity
necessarily.
of the documentary.
Well, not only that, she spoke about what was in it, and then she spoke as someone like us who doesn't believe. Not her, but the writer. She spoke like that, right? So as I'm reading it, my mind said, she was someone that was going hard defending Michael. This is a girl who writes for Oprah Mag. She went to Oprah's interview. And from reading her article, which I detest, I hate the title of the article. That was whack of Oprah. That's another topic. But reading the article, I'm like, okay, there's no way that I'm going to watch this and not have reasonable doubt that he did it.
Mm-hmm. And hear me out. Because I'm a person who's just if a person is a victim, and they have a story, they're a victim and they have a story. And who am I to tell them that it's not their story? And I do feel strongly about that, period. However, I do also recognize the difference between, his circumstance and R. Kelly's. And
thank you.
And I completely get your point about, seeing Oprah be behind it, because I think it unfolded for me when I then recognized that Gayle was sitting in place for like R. Kelly's interview. And I do not mind like things being grouped together to make a statement, right? I do not like the inconsistency about it. I think I think
the
it is
bad
really
part.
fucked up.
Right.
Especially when we are seeking like resolve, like some type of reparation as a people, like or at least that's how I feel, right? So like it feels hard to know that like a select few of folks that the people see or like glorify being condemned in a cluster. If they did what they did, then they deserve to be stoned just like everybody else. But like add some salt to that pepper, because it's the way that it's being done is in poor taste. So I'm still not on the like fuck Oprah thing. However, like it is like I haven't approached it yet. I don't even know how I want to approach it yet. I don't know how I want to view it yet. I don't know. I don't know
fuck
yet.
Oprah, because
Right.
for you to claim that you are somebody's friend, not to say that your friends can't do anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have a friend and they murder people, it's okay to be like, damn, that's fucked up that you murder people, bro. Like, you know, it's okay to call your friend out. What you should do, if that is your friend, is you should know the backstory and do at least some more investigation on things before you go out there and be on the front line accusing and throwing your friend under the bus. That's what I don't appreciate.
Well, that part, and when I stand by fuck Oprah.
Yup.
You know why?
Fuck
Because the only way Oprah, I'm gonna tell you why. Just as a journalist, and this is somebody, and I want to go, you know,
I
on
don't,
record.
Auntie Oprah. I don't stand by
Fuck
that.
Oprah.
No, I know you're not with it, but I'm saying
I'm just
I'm
making a
somebody
note.
who called myself. People have checked me about this all week.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't you young Oprah? Aren't you young Oprah? I'm as of last Sunday. I said this before. I will make an official announcement. That's a dub. I'm no longer. I can't keep that moniker. I just can't. And it's because of integrity. Like, for one, Oprah. This is one thing. I don't respect the fact that you are on record saying that you know you would get backlash, right? And everyone's running with that. But here's the thing. You knew you would get backlash. You have to be held accountable, Oprah. Like, you should have given as a friend, right? A supposed friend. Because then someone else left a comment and said that when he was alive, she expressed this. Is that true?
I don't
recall
remember
that.
saying shit like her.
They said you could look it up that she see, now what I'm gathering is that once she interviewed him, this is the only thing that would give her credibility. Once she interviewed him, when he granted her that interview, she got something, like how we said last week, she got something from him that made her feel like he is a pedophile. And another comment, because I read comments of certain knowledge, right? Another comment said that all of this started after that interview. Like, she had something to do with it. I'm just fishing.
This was 7 years ago?
Right.
Or, 26 years ago. This was 93 when she did that. So it took you 26 years now for you to come out with
Exactly.
with all
So
this shit?
that leads me to this. So you had the audacity to say that you knew you would get backlash, yet you didn't have the give us the courtesy of saying why you even did it. In that same breath, you should have been telling us,
Maybe she's not there yet. Maybe she's not there yet.
You cannot not be there yet. There has to be a reason. You have to
you
give
can't be
us.
making
No, you
documentaries
have to
and not be
tell
there
us.
yet.
You have to say where I'm doing this interview. I'm gonna tell you what she's hiding behind. This is what I didn't like about the article as well. This is what pissed me off. Outside of the title of saying one last time goodbye to Michael Jackson, that was the title, right? Mm-hmm. One last goodbye to Michael Jackson, right? In the article, it says, so you're using Michael Jackson's legacy to end all sexual abuse. That's the reason why she's giving that this interview will end the cycle of abuse. Get the fuck out of here.
You guys,
not only are you
to be
wrong,
honest,
you dumb as shit. Because if you think your bullshit article in that bullshit ass magazine is about to end something that been happening for millions of years, as long as people exist, that shit is gonna exist.
To be honest, this could be and hear me out, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did it do?
The Me Too movement was a big deal, in my opinion.
It was, but it didn't hit hip hop yet. Hip hop better hold on. It didn't hit hip hop yet.
It didn't, and who knows what it would do, right? Like, and hear me out. I hear exactly what you guys are saying, but I think I live from just a very empathetic place in life where it's just like, I don't know why people make the choices that they make. If it was that Oprah felt very strongly about doing this, it had to have been for some reason, right? She cannot be a person who is just like, oh, fuck black people or fuck black
you're
artists.
taking the word of these people that
No.
were in the documentary. That's, I mean, it
And
has
it's
to
okay.
be. What else could be?
And it's okay for you to feel that way, right? It is completely okay for you to feel as though that's what the deal is.
No, she
What
said
else
that.
could
No,
she
she
be?
said that in the article. She said that basically she believes.
Guys, I get it.
Okay.
But
I
what
get
else
it.
could it be? Like, you can't be
I-
like, yo, I'm around this person. I feel like they raped kids. Like, nah, you can't do that. You got to have something substantial. And these allegations would be substantial if they could fucking stand the light of day. Like, there's so many holes in both of their stories that how anybody could take this serious fucking baffles me. Like,
Hear me out. I
Okay.
hear all of that, right? And I'm not saying that, like, I'm not saying that what she did was correct, right? I'm just saying that in her hearts of hearts, if she is doing this, she believes that there's a real reason for doing something like this. Damn, man. However,
No, she said the real reason is
nothing. I know why I just did there, man.
I think she
Just
did
ignore.
that shit for ratings.
Ignore
yo.
me.
The
No,
same
that's the
shit
other
do
thing.
Gayle.
What if,
Now,
what if this is a
Gayle-
piece of the puzzle? What if this is a piece of the
Trying to
puzzle for the
cash
Me
in.
Too movement? Maybe somebody had to be an ultimate sacrifice so that, like,
so you use the
that-
black man.
I don't
this
know.
Is where,
I don't know because the story hasn't completely unfolded. What I'm saying is, it would also be irresponsible for us to just jump to an assumption about why it is that she's doing this. A person that the culture has respected, regardless of her stance, and regardless of like whether everyone around this room had supported her.
Yeah.
A person who has been respected to this culture, because I want to frame it up in a couple of different ways for you guys, right? It's not as though out of like 100% of the things that she did that everyone in this room had thought that like 70% of the shit that she has done has been wrong, right? This has just been a big ass dent, and it's something that's very
no,
current.
she's done a lot of wrong.
She definitely has, but she's also done a lot of great, right? But hear this. Hear this. Because I understand, like, we talk about cancel culture, right? And we talk about this idea, like, people gave time and space for other people to be canceled out. And here we are with this black woman who has once upon a time been a victim, who not once upon a time, because once you're a victim, you're a victim. So you understand the experiences of victims, and maybe, again, something in her hearts of hearts made her believe that it was true, regardless of what you are saying or not. Like, I hear you, right? Understand that. I hear you. That's why I couldn't watch it. I empathize. But in her hearts of hearts, she felt as though she had to do it as a victim and as a black woman, and she's a black woman who's done a lot for this culture, whether or not we see it that way. And we are ready to jump and cancel her out. People have not done that to Bill Cosby. Hear me out.
Yes, we have.
Mad
Not
They
to this-
destroyed his legacy.
It's
They
mad
destroyed
people
his
that's like, yo,
legacy.
I'm not fucking
I'm
with
just
I
this.
think
now-
I'm
I
not
think
watching
when
this.
I think it's very big. I think it's irresponsible to jump to a place of canceling a person out when, like, she has.
But
she
you're trying to
is
preach
not-
that for somebody else. She's trying to say, yo, cancel Michael. Like, this is
That
done.
is real, but
Yes,
he's also
exactly.
dead.
Did the same shit.
That's real,
You
but he's
can't
also
be calling
dead.
for somebody else's execution, and we can execute
That is
you
real,
too.
but he's
So
also
fuck you.
dead.
So
That's
what?
real.
Also dead, and that's
even more- yeah,
that's even more
worse.
retarded.
Word, it took you
I don't
26
think
years,
so,
you felt like
guys.
this is
No,
93.
you don't make them. This
That's
is
mad
where this
disrespectful.
is what I hate though.
Like, his
So what
kids and
happens
shit have to
is
deal with
why
that.
everything gets grouped together, right? Where people are like I said, you don't agree, but I said our people as a whole, we do not think critically as a whole, and that's also why people start grouping everything. So there is truth to the fact that this is an attack on black men's legacy. There is truth to that. It's just that I hate when they use it for every case. It's not like Bill Cosby was a clear cut and dry case. It started out as you knew it was orchestrated. This as well is orchestrated. Gayle, see, as much as I despise R. Kelly and what he stands for, I had empathy for R. Kelly 10 years ago before I wrote him off, right? I don't have that empathy. So anyone hitting me with that he's a victim shit, I don't want to hear it at this point because he became a monster. I get why. That's what also allows people to make pedophilia okay. Right, so another segue. Dr. Umar, I watched what he said today, right? I said everything that he said, but here's the thing, Dr. Umar, what you're missing. So you said that we can't rely on white people to govern our shit. So how are we supposed to govern this then? Because honestly, real talk, if we are going to be the ones who are going to govern pedophiles, they have to die. If they're not going to go to jail, then what else? There is no. They have to die, or they have to be killed, or they have to be outcasted. So how are we as black people? Because that's where he left the loophole. Everyone thinks that he's so, he said all these things. Everything he said, I see both sides.
You have to sum up like the points of what.
Well, he basically was saying that black people, this is where it's truth to what he's saying, right? Case in point. As much as I despise the whole R. Kelly situation, the Gayle interview, I don't care what nobody says, it was not necessary. Seeing her sit there and interview him, that was a complete mockery. That's all it was. Whoever allowed him to do that stupid ass interview is a dummy. If he really wanted to do that, then he's just plain stupid. It didn't do nothing for his case, but it did prey on the naivete of our people, because now, again, that's what I'm trying to say about the critical thinking, right? So now, based on that interview, some people are saying, "Oh, he didn't do it," or he didn't do what? You don't even know what you're talking about. What didn't he do? The interview didn't. He clearly said it in the interview that he did it. Basically, they're asking him, "What kind of women do you like, R. Kelly?" Over 18. What the fuck kind of answer is that? Like, what are you talking about?
He sounds super sus.
I'm just saying, like, but that interview is where I'm correlating to what Dr. Umar said, right? About how, I can see how people. I'm looking at Gayle Gayle's a dub to me too. I'm sorry, Gayle and Oprah are both dubs.
I don't think it's right to cancel them out because they did something that you don't like. Like, if they did it with journalistic integrity and that's what their jobs are, I think it's fucked up that people
It was
do
no journalistic integrity.
In that
There was no journalistic integrity. Not an
was
ounce.
completely one-sided.
Not an ounce of journalistic integrity.
Again, I didn't watch it, so I can't speak
No,
on
you
it.
didn't watch the R. Kelly interview either?
I watched every minute of that documentary. There was no journalistic
No, but how about with the Gayle
integrity to that shit.
interview?
Has that
I get
even been fully released?
like these
I saw
things
the clips, but
bother me emotionally, and when I got shit to do, I don't have time to be doing all that.
Michael Jackson was under FBI
He's definitely not that
surveillance
smart.
since 1992. Since the first allegations came out, Michael Jackson had been under FBI surveillance since 1992. He died in 2009? So what is that, 27 years straight that they subpoenaed all of his phone records, all of his computer records, all of everything. Never found anything.
You know what someone told me?
The Federal Bureau of Investigations.
Never found
27
shit.
years, never
The
found one
FBI
thing.
who finds something on everybody. Never found one damn thing.
Who loves to crucify black men, who would have taken every opportunity they could have to fucking crucify the biggest black man in history.
I don't think a conspiracy theory is out of whack,
But
right?
what I'm saying is
I saw
gotta
the clip that
mention
you posted.
If you're gonna make a documentary about him
Oh,
doing
what he
that, you
said.
gotta mention that. Like, you gotta mention these things. You
No,
gotta be
that's
like, yo,
real.
Wade
That's real.
Robson-
But if you have a
but
side,
the
you have a side,
director-
you guys.
But the director distinctly said he purposely did not do that. He had no. That's also not journalistic integrity.
Yeah, no, that's real. That's real.
what I'm
I
saying.
get it.
And
I get
Oprah
it.
and Oprah stamped that.
I get
Oprah
it.
stamped-
I
you're
just
a
don't like
journalist
the
and you
idea of
stamped that.
canceling her out.
For money.
I get
No,
it.
you know why I'm also sick of her? I'm sick of you done slave woman me to death. How many goddamn slave woman movies are we gonna fucking see? Black people are more than fucking slaves, man.
Word.
Every damn
She's
movie
a
that she
puppet,
endorses is a slave movie. Damn,
a
Oprah.
puppet, yo.
Damn, Oprah, you
She's
a
a
billionaire,
puppet.
and this is all we putting out. There are
a
so many
puppet.
dope stories
You
out
guys,
there
but
that are written by black people.
But here's the deal. Here's the deal, right? We
puppet.
live in different times. Here's the deal. I went to a conference this week. And in Austin, Texas, the South by Southwest education sector of the conference, and I had the opportunity to hear Henry Louis Gates speak.
Okay.
And I was excited about it until I heard him speak.
Oh man.
Because, and let me tell you why. There are two
somebody
specific.
go ahead.
There are two specific reasons why, right?
Real quick, shout out to my live. Everybody's tuning in. Shout out to everybody watching.
Hey,
You know?
Hey.
Yeah. Peace out. I mean, peace.
No, don't tell a piece
Not
out.
peace out, but thank y'all for tuning in. I just threw it on because I'm going to throw this up on YouTube and shit, but shout out to all y'all watching. Unpopular Opinions. Go subscribe to the YouTube, man. Go subscribe.
Episode
to Unpopular
27.
Opinions, man. This is episode 27. This is how we give it up every Sunday, man. So go fuck with it,
That's
man.
a lot.
So Henry Louis Gates, people were asking. So someone threw a question out there, like, how do you feel about white people teaching black students about Black history or whatever the case is? Because he was speaking about the Reconstruction era and how there's a huge portion of that era that's missing from the history books, blah, blah, blah. Understood. And there's a good chunk of what he was saying that you can understand. But the way that he was sharing it, I had a problem with. So he'd say something to the effect of, there were 2,000 illiterate black men who were voted into Congress, or whatever the case is, or voted into politics. These people weren't illiterate. Like language for them was something different for than like what the people who in Congress were speaking at that time. So the way that he used the word colored, and I had a problem with that.
Who
and
said
he was
colored
and he
in
was mad
2019?
comfortable. He was mad comfortable saying nigga next to this white lady, you know? And I knew that he was comfortable in his blackness saying it. He was just irresponsible as a facilitator amongst, like, in front of a group of educators, not understanding that the spectrum, the realm of education has shifted. There's a lot of young white people in front of you. You got to be responsible with the shit that you say.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So, like, it's not enough just to say that, like, yes, it's okay for for white people to teach about Black history, as so long as there's a measure of accountability that ensures that they're not, like, imposing their privilege and shit on them. Let's be clear and responsible about what we were saying, what we are saying. So, I don't know. He rubbed me the wrong way. I kind of left
and this
early.
Is who again? Dr.
Henry Louis Gates.
Okay.
I left a little early.
But you'd be surprised a lot of them are like that.
Yeah.
I was surprised
to the real point, though.
When I first heard Dr. Umar speak, I'm like, really?
To the real point, they lived in a different era than we did. We are younger and we're experiencing like life and race differently than they did, right? That could have been Oprah's dream to portray this story of like Black women as matriarchs in movies. It could have been.
That was dope initially, but not for 20, 30 years straight, man.
But that's her. But that might have been her vision. That might have been her creative vision. But she also diversifies the shit that she does. Because Queen Sugar is the shit. And I know it's not her shit, right? But this is the shit that she's creating a platform for. Yeah. Queen Sugar, fucking Greenleaf. She creates a platform for a lot of great work. So what I say that to say, like, not because she does something that you don't agree with means that you cancel her out. You call her out. That is how we eliminate the opportunity for dialogue. You know right? And then that would be as ignorant as she. Like when it came to the realm of hip hop, as younger people, we gotta be more responsible about it. Man. No, like I would happily sit across from Oprah and say like, hey, this is how we as young people see what you are doing.
If she allows that,
and I feel as though she would.
No, Oprah didn't even fuck with hip hop for how many years?
I understand.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
But I feel as though if someone approached her, like in a respectful way to dialogue about these things.
No,
she
what
would
she
be willing
should
to
do,
receive.
since you brought up journalistic integrity, is that she should speak from a standpoint of she should write an article from her perspective.
Mm-hmm.
She needs. That's what I'm saying.
Real.
She didn't give us that, so you should be telling us why you're doing these things. Hold up.
We're not there yet,
Wait. No, wait. She has too much dirt on her own record. Associated with pedophilia. So now the girls in Africa, the school in Africa, those girls, she did not protect them. They were molested. Yep. Like, what about that? You out here digging up a dead man's legacy or whatever. What about that?
Did she not assume responsibility?
I mean, in the moment, but that was not broadcasted. In real talk, as much as I'm in tune, I found that out like more recently. And someone, like one of my homegirls, just texted me because she's watching, and she's like, "Yo, bring that up," because she been told me about that, and I still was running around young Oprah. Like, how?
No, that's real. But like, you guys, wait. In my opinion, then we have to bring to the platform.
No, let me finish.
We have to bring to the platform how it is that she assumed responsibility before denouncing it.
No, not only that, but not only fine. She did. She was in tears. She felt bad. I heard. Whatever.
So then we can't X that out.
No, we can, because on top of that, why didn't you build any schools for Black girls in the U.S.? And your dumbass reason, that reason that she gave is fucking stupid.
That's real too.
That we don't care about education. What kind of fucking dumbass shit is that?
That is real too. That is real too. That is a very real perspective. But I feel as though there are people out there who are going to have a difference in opinion than you, and like
both. If you're for the betterment of Black people, Black people are around the whole entire world. There's a Black person everywhere. Like you focused on Africa and then you left that unattended, and that's what happened. Not placing blame. I'm just saying, unfortunately, that happened, and that's disgusting that happened. But you didn't even like then come and build a school for girls here. Like you see, like people like Dr. Umar struggling to have a school for black men. Why isn't that being supported by someone like Oprah, who's a fucking billionaire? All of them, it's just it makes no sense.
So
man.
no, so and I don't think it's that she's a puppet, you guys. Like, and I've said this time and time again. I feel as though, like, in the very same way where Rain, like you say that you don't think black people think critically as a whole, right?
A whole, I think you have I think amongst black people, and I'm unfortunately I'm basing this on the interaction that I have daily, right? It's almost as if the talented 10th is legit, you know. Like what's his name? Who created The Boys? It's almost as if that's true because you see it in the conversation that it's only a few people that get it, and then these people who don't get it are telling you don't get it. You know what I'm saying?
I agree that there are like a group of people that are more enlightened or that seem to think outside of the box than like most folks. But I also feel as though, I think the point that I was trying to make is that everyone has a difference in opinion about what it means to uplift or bring down the race, right? When I hear people say that black people can't do or all black people this or all black people that shit irritates me because it's like all black people don't think that way. And when we do that, that's when we like create an opportunity for people to like group everyone together. Like it can't be okay to make a statement like that and then like have a problem with driving while black. Does that make sense? Like that's wrong, and it's a very fucked up statement to make, but that's the truth, right? So, but however, that's how I feel about advancing like people of color. I feel as though like you be mindful about how you present, you speak about them, right? That it doesn't mean that like my depiction of that is incorrect. We just have a difference in opinion about what it means to advance people of color. So, like, we need to create space for dialogue.
But that's
to
the
talk
same
about
thing we've been saying. Like, you're right. But even with that, how could that be a disagreement of how can we be disagreeing on how to advance people of color? Even down to right now, not to go off on another tangent. The topic right now is reparations, right? Even with that, you have black people. I'm like, there's black people that are in position that are they have no fucking purpose being there. You have black people that are in position on TV saying, it's really impossible. It's really no real way that we can make reparations happen.
Oh yes, there is. Come on.
Black people. I seen two black people of status, obviously, on these different shows, CNN, or actually say it out their mouth. I'm like, what?
Because there's some people whose creativity is limited in this world. There's some people who not willing to put in the hard work across all races.
In position.
I mean,
yeah, that's real.
I don't know if they meant the way they meant it. If they meant it in a like, this may be like futile for us to invest time and resources in trying to pursue because it's never gonna happen. I might be.
No,
I mean,
the exact words.
Could they cut a check for $2 trillion right now?
Yes,
Yeah,
they
course,
can.
Absolutely.
And we all can get a check, and you know.
That shit ain't happening.
But I don't know. I want to just say this. I'm just going to shed light on it because, shout out to my boy Seth and my homegirl Naisha who put me on to this woman. She's a bit extreme. Another OG, right? She has a show, Black and Brown Network. Y'all should check it out. Yvette Carnell is her name, right? She is the reason why they're even talking about reparations. But do you know what black people did? Even black people like Angela Rye, Talib Kweli, they're calling her a Russian bot. They're saying that this hashtag that you seen that I seen you like the post like a couple of weeks ago. This hashtag, and I'm only giving. I don't know it. I don't like to speak on what I don't know either. You know what I mean? But I know, and I posted it because I relate to it. So the hashtag is ADOS, American descendant of slaves. Mm-hmm. Right now, that was the connections for us for people who are from here, to show our heritage to get the reparations. Right. So that's how this whole thing even started. They would not even be talking about it if it wasn't for her. But because they didn't believe it and because none of them forced the issue, the ones who are in position, y'all didn't force the issue. Y'all didn't make these Democrats, y'all didn't force them to even address reparations. She did, essentially, some kind of way it got through the loops because that's what the digital era allowed you to do. You know what I'm saying? She has a solid network of 60,000 people, and she's supported. She's been around, you know what I mean? And the black people in position are calling her and people who use this hashtag Russian bots. Shit like that is going on. Like, how are other black people who are not in tune? That's what I'm trying to say. So a person like her who's too in tune or too militant is not placed in position because she's the one who's probably the best person to speak on it because it was her plan. I'm just saying this type of shit is going on. That's all I'm saying, that this type of shit is going on where we're so fucking divided. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, like, you know, finding out about this woman. Even and I found this out the other day. Like Talib Kweli, you know, who, you know, I just look at it, he's a conscious rapper at the end of the day, right? He's always spoke about reparations, right?
As you were speaking, that's what it was over here.
Right, but he had a back and forth with her. 2 days straight, my boy told me, calling her, saying that she's a Trump supporter. If he knew anything, shit like that is so fucking ignorant. If he knew anything about her, a Trump supporter, go look up her blogs, yo. She's too extreme on Black Power to ever been a Trump supporter. But that's because he's ignorant. He didn't even know that she's the reason she created the hashtag. Everyone who has that hashtag, they're referring to them as Russian bots. But they're black people who are in tune, who are now saying, and I'm not even heavy on politics. I'm just saying I know a little bit like of what's going on. So, and I agree to this because I don't even know why. Someone told me the history of why black people are just, you know, dedicated to being Democrats. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some history to that. However, I do agree with this, that black people who are voting Democrat, we should not be voting for anyone who is not addressing reparations. And that's where we're at now, because we get pimped out. We come out in droves for Democrats.
I respect a lot of extreme statements as such. I can get behind anybody who have a plan.
Someone said Kweli is elite. Shout out to my boy Jay in the building.
Hey, Jay.
Very knowledgeable brother.
We shouldn't blindly pledge allegiance to any political party.
We shouldn't, but we should force them to talk about reparations.
Yeah, you know, absolutely. But just saying because I'm black, I'm a Democrat, that doesn't really make any sense. Like, Abraham Lincoln was Republican. Martin Luther King was Republican. Like, that's not, you know, you need to align yourself with whatever party seems to be pushing your agenda. I mean, that's what politics is, you know, which was, I think it was crazy when people, I never thought the Kanye shit with Trump was real, but I think it was crazy for people to be surprised that Kanye was backing somebody that is absolutely backing his best business interests. Kanye lives in a different tax bracket than we are. Like, for him to be supporting somebody that supports his interests, for people to think that's crazy is like, what are you talking about? Like, that's what it is. I don't think that was, you know, real, but I think he supports him, but him bringing it to social media and all that shit was for publicity. They were dropping those 7 albums in that summer or whatever, so that's what that was for. But we shouldn't blindly pledge our allegiance to any of these political parties. Fuck the Democrats, fuck the Republicans the same way.
Right, but I'm saying that I will say, you know, I think black people as a whole, we just kind of lean towards Democrats.
Just all Democrats.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Democrat.
And so I like the idea that basically saying whichever Democrat, whether it's Kamala, you know, or Kamala, or Bernie, whoever is going for our vote in the primary, that we should be voting only for the person that's addressing reparations, period. I like that stance.
You know, but
otherwise you can't get our fucking vote.
I feel like, again, that's a strong statement because that's assuming that people feel as though reparations is the key to changing black people's lives. There's some people who feel strongly.
It's just an issue that we've been asking for years.
Yeah.
It's I mean, it's surface. I'm just saying that's the very least you can do because you get our vote by default. Now we're just pressing you.
How does reparations look, though? Like, what are we talking about?
You know what? I'm going to give you some info.
Stimulus check, like, for every black person, $2,000?
Well, you know what? This woman.
Are we talking about tax write-offs? Are we talking about, like, what, in what form?
Well, this woman, my boy put me on, there's actually a lot of people that are talking about it now, right? But there's a woman, I guess she's Jewish, and
Jewish people get reparations.
Right. And she was saying her grandmother has been getting a check since 2000 and however from Germany for reparations. Yeah. It's really that fucking simple. It's that fucking simple.
Not even from Germany. Not from Germany. From the United States, which is even iller.
Well, no, well, she was saying Germany.
Responsible for doing... we actually stopped the Holocaust, and then we pay a check out reparations for the Holocaust, which is crazy. But that's another
Sidebar.
Please
shout out
share
to
that
some of the-
information.
So yeah,
Say again.
nah.
No, I'm saying wherever y'all got that information, share it so I can read up on it.
About what?
Nah, Jewish
About
people have
About like
reparations.
whatever the
Oh
whatever
no, these are
Jewish people
tweets.
get.
But you should start just
Absolutely.
googling it. Someone just sent me a tweet, and
Yeah.
my boy sent me a tweet because he's the one who even put me on to the ADOS.
I knew I should have went to law
reparations.
school.
Yeah,
Damn.
nah,
But not
absolutely.
even like you. It's just about.
That's all I
But how
gotta
does
do.
it
But the
look
fact
like?
that they,
Law school.
that's how it looks.
Yeah.
It looks like, I don't know how
She get
much,
a
but
check,
she's
yeah.
saying that her it had, and she said, that's what I'm trying to say.
I don't know
White
how much the
people,
checks are.
they,
And then
black people get, like, you feel me?
We just don't understand the law.
We don't
But I
understand-
think we forget that the law, the language was withheld from us for a long time, people. So instead of us like
Right.
sitting down here
And
talking
educating
about
ourselves.
yes, let's stop denouncing our ability and start speaking to people about going out and reading and understand and like directing people to which law it is that we need to be exploring so that we can get more people's eyes interpreting like and dissecting shit that we need them to dissect. Let's be more responsible with the language that we use and like frame that shit differently to people. Let's put
Son.
people to work. Ask people to
I'm
go
about to blow
look
you
at
up.
like law and shit.
You can't be in the sky before the show, okay?
What are you talking about?
You cannot. Because every time we in the sky before the show, you just be
I'm
silent for
listening.
like a fucking hour. You good?
I'm good. I'm listening.
All right. I had to blow you up. I
dear.
blew you up.
I'm good.
Yeah, don't be drinking before the show,
That's all he
Craig.
said the whole I'm good.
Thanks.
He's not drinking. He's not drinking.
I'm good.
Don't be drinking before the show.
I'm giving y'all the floor.
Shout it out.
Did you
Sorry, I had to
watch
shout
it?
you
That was
out.
them.
Did you
Excuse me?
watch the documentary?
Yeah.
You watched
I said
it?
I did.
All
So
right.
so you both watched it, so tell us what you thought about it.
I thought it was bullshit, but I want to know what you think.
International boss chick, what up?
It was difficult to
It's
watch.
graphic as shit, right? It
Um,
was.
Watching it initially, the first part one was like they did a good job of like glorifying how Michael was like this phenomenon, like up there. But then the second part, that's when it got like we did it in that room,
I caught some snippets of that.
in that room, and then like how he had these secret rooms and things like that, and how he fucking like pretty much put them through like these drills of being questioned, just in case if things were to happen. As I've been saying to people, the Wade Robeson, that's his name.
Wade Robeson.
I don't
Robeson.
believe that nigga.
Like his story was like, okay, you here for the lights because you've been blackballed by Hollywood.
Yeah.
after
yeah.
using Michael's name for like 8 jobs.
Because it was just like thinking about it, his story was just like, damn, look at the opportunities homeboy had. He had his own fucking dance show on MTV.
Yeah.
He out of nowhere, he's the fucking choreographer for NSYNC and
But
fucking
not
Britney
out of
Spears.
nowhere, because this was Michael Jackson.
No, that's what I'm saying.
For
That's
like 10 years.
Yeah, that was that's my point. Like, really, dude. And so his story was a bit over the top. However, with the Safe Chuck dude, his story was just like
More believable?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna hold you because it was just like, for me, his story made me cringe because it's like, fuck, man, like fuck.
Why
And I
did
was
his story
stuck.
make you cringe?
Because you can, from what I saw, it was just like mentally he was still fucked up. I don't know, it's just like Wade's story was just complete bullshit to me. I didn't believe it. It was just doesn't make
So
sense.
you believe this? The second.
The
guy
safe
is what
the
you're
safe
saying.
check dude makes me question.
He's not believable, the other guy, I'm telling you.
Like Wade Robeson is just like, I don't know why he was
He's
there.
broke.
Yeah, we wrote.
That's what I was saying
Yeah,
the
I
whole
mean,
time. The
from,
whole time.
From the moment that my sister mentioned his name, I remembered like him from the
didn't know he had
B2K
the-
movies and shit.
I didn't know he
Yeah.
had the MTV show.
Yeah.
I
The
didn't know that.
MTV
I
show,
forgot.
he was
Me
the
too.
he had the spiky hair
Yeah,
in the
for the
B2K
dance
movies,
shit.
the little dance
Yeah.
shit. I remember, and like living in the Caribbean, that's the shit that we used to like go to the movies to go see. So I remember that shit. From when she said his name, I was like, oh, I remember him.
He thought he was going to
Like,
be
he's
the
looking
next
for-
Michael Jackson. When you are 10 years old and Michael Jackson is bringing you halfway across the world,
Yeah.
and you're his little protege, and you're in the music videos and on the commercials and shit, in your mind, you think you're going to be the next Michael Jackson. When you start to round about 30 and you're looking around at your life like, oh shit, I'm not nowhere near the next Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
shit start to get drastic.
and it was what
Also
start to
because you
act
fucked
different.
up every opportunity
Yeah.
by
You
fucking
Fucked up.
everybody.
You
Like, what's
blackballed
wrong
your
with
own
you?
shit. This is what I'm saying. They didn't mention any of that. Like, this motherfucker Wade Robeson is on this documentary making it seem as if Michael Jackson needed to call him to get access to Britney Spears. I'm sitting back watching this shit like, motherfucker. He's like, yeah, and he would call me up and ask me about, and even trying to use me to get. I'm like, motherfucker, do you understand? You're talking about the most famous person in the world for the last 40 fucking years. Got to call you to get close to motherfucker. If he wanted to be featured on Hit Me Baby One More Time, all it would have been was a call. Like, yo, I want to be on it.
It's Michael.
It would have been a duet. With
It's
Michael. One name. It's Michael. Like, fuck are you talking about? Wait, Rose.
He probably just had to
get close to Britney Spears.
Like
That's it. And that shit would have went. The shit probably sold 10 million copies. With that one Michael Jackson ad-lib, the shit would have went 20 million. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. That shit was so.
However, speaking about journalistic integrity, something else I'm gonna throw out there, right? So, and I caught snippets of that because I saw when they were speaking about like the multiple doors, and I was like, yeah, that's mad suspect. If like he got 15 doors before you actually get to a fucking room, like what you doing that for?
It was a lot.
However, I do want to look at trends in other people who were friends of his, right? And don't get me wrong, and this is just for journalistic integrity.
Like regular friends or like the kid friends?
Like kid friends or whatever. Like I'm thinking about like the Macaulay Culkins and the Aaron Carters. Like because I spoke about Aaron Carter the last time, and like both of these kids have like deep drug issues and shit like that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Adamantly say that Michael Jackson.
No, and I 100% like I support that. Another thing is like a part of me wonders if an Oprah like has sat down and promised those folks that like, yeah, I wouldn't like if you tell me your story, I'd never tell anyone, but I need to know for like just to know. And she has that context, and that's what brings her comfort with like standing behind something like this. I'm just saying that like I know as a people we always wanna go hard. Like people can't talk shit about Lauryn Hill in front of me easily. You see what I'm saying? There's always a person that we wanna do that for. However, if there's some truth, I just want to go on like record and say that if there's fucking truth to it, like it just needs like I would like to know, and I don't need to know.
I would too.
I don't need to know because the man's not here anymore. He's not harming anybody else, right? And like I do want his legacy preserved to some degree, but that's the selfish part of me. The person who like respects the stories of people who are fucked up in their lives because people victimize them. Like you gotta give credence to their voice because that's how we continue to perpetuate fuck shit.
But when does someone's story become uncredible? Like when you've gone on trial twice and sworn under oath that this did not happen. When you've had so many interviews previous to this where you swore that none of this happened, and then just one day you make a complete 180. It's hard for me to fucking believe.
What if they're like, in order for us to get Harvey, we got to be able to denounce Michael? What if that was a part of the Me Too?
Falsely?
The secret negotiations in the back.
Somebody? Absolutely not. That shit is not acceptable.
What if it wasn't
to
false?
Falsely put, to me, I don't believe any of this shit is true. To say that he was weird, that his relationship with people was weird, absolutely. Being the fucking biggest star in the world at 11 years old is fucking weird too. This is somebody who's never had any reference point for a normal life. What did he get his fucking kicks out of? Having a fucking sleepover. You know how fucking hype I used to be when my boys used to come through and we'd fucking play live all night and eat junk food and all that shit? That shit was dope as fuck. Those are some of the happiest memories I've ever had in my life. As a grown man, when I sit here, I think back on those like, yo, I had so much fun. To think about my life being completely deprived of that, that would suck. And if you got all the money in the world, you can get absolutely anything. Anything is at your call in a heartbeat. That would be what you wanted. Y'all want to chill with my boys and fucking watch cartoons and chill and do all that shit.
Sometimes when those parents, and I caught snippets of them damn parents talking about, I wouldn't know, oh, my son didn't know this, but I would put my ear to the hotel room. Bitch, what you mean? Like, my son is in this. Give me a motherfucking key to this room.
That's what I'm saying.
Give me a key.
That's what I don't.
I'm walking up in there when I want to.
I'm not letting
my kid be in the room with the
not
sleep
even
in the room.
It's not no damn sleepover, man. And it's not.
Not unless it's a penthouse. That's your room. This mine, and this is my kid.
But you know what I hate when they say, but I'm saying, would you let your kids say Michael Jackson? How about I want to let them stay with nobody?
Yeah, no
celeb.
Yeah, no
how about it's a day? It's a picture. It's a dinner.
Nah.
It's
if I had twins and Beyonce was like, oh, let him come over and play with Blue, Sir, and roommate, I'd be like, all right, B.
Nah, not me. She has children.
And she has
exactly.
children.
So that's what I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just saying that never.
But no, my point, I'm saying that unless I have a personal relationship with the celebrity, unless they have children as well, there is no reason for anyone to allow their kids to stay overnight at a celeb's house, especially a celeb who does not have children.
Yeah.
You know,
That is
now,
very
I'm saying
real.
even as a woman who doesn't have children,
Unless-
now my friends, we have a personal relationship. So they can, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can babysit. It's not like
Yeah.
I'm just trying to give both sides of both
Yeah.
sides of the coin. Like, you know what I'm saying? But with Mike, no, there's no celebrity that you just gonna like, hey, just,
But
Yeah,
see,
and-
but the difference is that these parents were looking for
Exactly.
I don't want to say come up, but they were looking for a professional assistant.
They loved the
They thought
comfort.
that, yeah,
She was
Michael
like, I loved
Jackson could
wine.
help. Yeah.
I told y'all I cut snippets.
And
Like,
it can
so,
help us.
what you mean you loved wine? Like, then,
One can
oh, so
make
you
that-
made it okay?
one can-
And that's
yeah.
what journalistic integrity would have done.
But
Like,
even
dug
if-
into this, like, and what, like, why was it okay for the
journalistic
parents?
integrity does both sides of the
Mm-hmm.
coin. So fuck that, fuck that director. Fuck
Word
him.
up.
Whatever his name is, fuck him.
But I mean, he had an agenda. He was trying.
Yeah.
to
He
had an
But
agenda.
Even the kid that you said that you believed
Yeah.
had some director dreams, and Michael was
Yeah.
helping him, and he was telling him he was
Yeah.
gonna be the next Spielberg and all this and this and that shit creates some type of false reality for you when you're growing. That when you become an adult, it's hard to kind of cope with. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I didn't get that, and I could see both of these people sitting back, like, yo, I have this fame and fortune that I thought I was gonna have. It's unattainable at this point. What's the last draw for? What's the last domino that I got in my pocket? Accuse this motherfucker who's not even alive to defend himself, and maybe they'll settle out of court and give us.
After I
5
already
million
went
or
on the
10
stand
million.
and said he didn't do
Twice. How are we
Twice.
even taking these people's fucking word? Like, bro, you went twice.
That's real.
20-something years, and now all of a sudden you coming out with this shit.
it. And they were
I-
not paid. Those two were not paid.
I said I needed to come here today and tell you that, like, I understood where it was coming from last week. Like, I still don't support the fuck Oprah thing, but I understand where it was coming from because it was very hard to receive that she was the one who was creating a platform for that to happen.
an additional.
It was just weird
But an
to see
additional
that.
stamp, though. Right.
Yeah,
weird.
and then like
Yeah.
I didn't know that Gayle was
Didn't make
involved.
sense.
And don't get me wrong, right? Like crucify R. Kelly if we need to, because something is wrong with the man. The man needs
yeah,
help,
it ain't
et cetera,
the
et
same.
cetera.
Him and Mike ain't
No,
the
he
same.
needs
However,
death.
I
yeah,
wouldn't say that.
yeah,
We had this
we
talk
just let's
before,
put him in a
man.
concentration camp with some bars.
Or he has to be outcasted.
Exiled.
He
yeah,
has to be exiled. You don't want to kill him.
yeah.
Prison
Put
is
him and everybody
pretty-
like him on
I'm
one
gonna tell you one
island
thing
by
that we gotta
themselves.
do though. I'm gonna
Prison
tell you
is pretty
one.
bad.
Like, that's, yeah.
I'm gonna tell you one thing though.
He'll meet Bobo.
The bigger
kill him,
issue is that, and this is one thing again, I'm going to shout out Dr. Umar. The bigger issue, something that he said too, is that they are in the next 5 to 10 years. So this is what he said. He said, if black people go against R. Kelly, bring it to R. Kelly, not Michael Jackson, right? But just about the topic of pedophilia. So he said, if black people go against them, white supremacy still wins because now it's like, what did he say? Well, if he said if black people protect R. Kelly, white supremacy wins because then it's like, oh, well, you protected him, and now that allows us to, push our agenda of pedophilia being normalized because that's the whole goal. The whole goal, and we need to stop that.
But that's why black people are like transformative as a people, right? And that's why we can't protect him. And
No,
when I
all
say
right, wait. So he said also white supremacy. That's what I'm trying to say. It's one thing that I have gathered off of 2 people this week. We are in a lose-lose. So he also said, if we go against him, white supremacy still wins because it made perfect
Yeah, no,
sense.
because we're going against another black man. Absolutely.
Right,
It's a
so
lose-lose.
it's a
But
lose-lose.
We lost when a black man decided to do this. That was the L,
Facts.
so we automatically took the L.
we lose-
The L we got to take is by disassociating.
we
ourselves
lose
from
when
it.
we
can't
feel as
protect
though we lose when we feel as though our race has to lose because
race is
someone
losing.
disappointed.
Nah,
We as a
you know
people,
how it
as a
is.
people, we
When I
have
hear
the
about
ability
a
to
crime, I'll
be
like, please don't be
transformative.
black. Like, please don't be black.
As
Somebody
no,
who
and I
feel
don't.
like it's
I
real.
still sit down there and feel that way, but I think we have to disrupt that way of thinking. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like there's something about black people where like when we call ourselves out for shit, it's the most vulnerable state of being vulnerable. It's like recognizing that you ain't got shit to lose. Like you already dog shit to the rest of the world, right? So like let's call all dog shit out. And like black people have the ability to just call all things that are wrong out. Everything that's wrong. So it's okay to disrupt this idea that like a black man like is tearing down the race. No, he's not. actually all races have people who are fucked up and if any race is gonna have to deal with some trauma, it's gonna be some black people because we've gone through the worst. So like for us to live in ignorance, like we wouldn't find a whole bunch of people who are fucked up in the mind. The fact that Major Coleman, shout out to a professor that I had at Penn State, I think he's at New Paltz right now. He used to tell me, he used to say some fucked up shit in class, and he used to be like, black people are true, like, exemplars of meritocracy, because he says, like, with the shit that black people go through, to say that he had black students sitting in front of him was like resilience at its best. And he'd be like, I want to give you an A just because you made it here, right? He would say that shit in a class with black and white people. Damn.
Good.
I hope this don't fuck
No.
anything up. But
I've
he
seen
did it
others
as
do
a
that,
point
too.
of, like, he was trying to, like, provoke people.
Right.
Into, like, in discourse and things of that nature. But he was right? The fact that black people go through so many traumatic events and still persevere and not be fucked up in the brain and not be ready to fuck up the rest of the world, or the fact that you still find great apples amidst all of that, knowing that, like, the race has experienced trauma and everybody experiences trauma, right? But still. So, like,
we also seen that.
Let's get over that shit. We don't have to we don't have to feel shame because it was a black man. We don't have to. I understand that we're gonna experience it anyway, but we don't have to feel shame for that shit. Call his motherfucking ass out. He's wrong.
I don't think shame because he's a black man. I think shame because he's such a significant black man, like to R&B music, which is a huge pillar of black culture.
Yep.
R. Kelly is huge. So for us to lose someone that's so significant to our culture is a blow. It's an L. We got to take the L, but in life,
the bigger L,
that's real.
Like, my thing is the bigger L though. Fuck R. Kelly. The bigger L is what they doing to Michael Jackson.
That's real. But you know how we combat that? You know how we combat that? We go find journalists to go out there and call everybody out. Call everybody out. Let's talk about Elvis. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it all.
Those are old. Let's talk the new ones.
Let's talk about everybody from then to now. If we want to do it, we can open the floodgates.
I don't think that's right. Oh, this person did. Well, this person was a pedophile.
No, but Elvis would be a blow to them.
Exactly. So let's call out our wrong.
I don't think it's a fucking battle. It's not a battle of you who got more pedophiles. You got this person did that. This person did this. This is falsely putting a label on someone that is so significant to our culture, and you're putting the worst possible label on them. But not only a fucking rapist, a child rapist.
Right.
And this is absolutely false. Someone that's almost biblical in significance to our culture. No, like, it's not a battle between, this white person did that. Nah, wrong is wrong. The reason
why I'm saying that, I hear that, right? The reason why I'm saying that is because I'm thinking about Scandal. It's like, if this is what people are talking about right now and we need to change the narrative, people are going to believe what they believe from what they've gathered from it now. If they have not gone to go seek information, they're not going to, right? It's about changing the conversation. It's doing what the fuck Trump does. Anytime something stupid happens, let's change the conversation. So y'all talk about something else. Why can't we use it against them?
A documentary with all the information that proves why this shit is
Or
bullshit.
we can do that too.
That's what we need to do.
Whichever one we want to do. We can do both of them.
There's one black person accused of being a pedophile. Oh, let's point out 10
But you know what it is?
Nah,
but you know what it is,
just
though?
bringing more wrong. That's just bringing more negativity.
But you know what it is, though? It's also us saying that, right? The people who always go to, like, pointing out the white pedophiles, and there are millions of, we talked about this before. There are so many documentaries. The problem is it's the platform that our leaders of music are being placed on. So the marketing and the advertising of these particular documentaries. So it's not just let's do a documentary on those pedophiles. It's let's make a big spectacle of Elvis. Because, it was a big... the other thing, too, is what people don't understand, it's all smoke and mirrors.
I don't think we care as much about Elvis.
No, I'm just saying Elvis. I'm saying whoever.
Are significant to our culture. Like, if there was a surviving Elvis that dropped the same time as Michael Jackson, we would really get
I know, but then it would change the conversation.
No, that's not what I'm saying. No, I'm saying the people who are saying bringing up the other pedophiles, well, I noticed that it's not, these documentaries do exist. There actually is one that's coming out on Weinstein later on this year.
But we don't care about Weinstein.
No, we do care about Weinstein.
Is whether or not it's going to get the same type of coverage.
We don't care. I'm not using it as a term as like it's insignificant, but Michael Jackson is so much more significant.
No, but I'm saying the comparable. No, but the reason why that matters about them is because they are making black men the face of sexual predators. But the forefront of the sexual predator umbrella is not fucking black men.
Absolutely.
First of all, with Bill Cosby, again, distinctive case. Bill Cosby is more comparable to Harvey Weinstein. Bill Cosby was basically doing the same thing he was doing, a fucking couch. He wasn't as despicable as Weinstein. If you read the stories on Weinstein, it's fucking disgusting. Like he literally, go read the Lupita, go read her assessment.
I did.
And when you read it, this shit, you can't make this shit up. The same thing when you read the assessment on Russell Simmons. That's why he stepped down. When you read the woman who was 17 when it happened, or 21, she was young when it happened. When you read it, it's like this type of shit you cannot
make up.
You can't make it up. That's the only thing that I want to hear the Safe Chuck story, because I want to see. There's certain things that are said when you're telling a story that you can't fucking make up. So the same thing with Lupita, right? The stuff that she said, you could tell it's like a movie.
And he never denied it. All he said was, but she invited me to her Broadway show. Well, duh.
Yeah.
Your name is, you're the executive producer on everything, dumbass.
Shows, and you invited her to 3 different shows, and every time you invited her to the shows, you basically tried to thug her out. The first time, because she had pride, she still, not to go off on a tangent, but women are in these compromising positions every day. That's why I always say. Like, so here's the story, real quick. She's in the Yale School of acting, right?
Arts or whatever,
right? So she's, rubbing elbows, whatever. She's at things. Someone introduced him as, that guy. She said even it came from a woman who she respected, who kind of, different people insinuated things about him, but basically told her that he's the guy to know and he's a good guy. See that type of shit goes on too. People around you are enabling. Exactly. So that's irrelevant. The very first time he invited her to some screening or whatever, she goes, he makes her go into a room, so she's feeling already uncomfortable. No, it's at his home. At his house with his kids and his wife. He has a separate room, and he's like, I want to show you something or whatever. And he asked to give her a fucking massage. What the fuck? First of all, if you look at this motherfucker, he's a pig. He's hard on the eyes. So he basically was pushing around his ugliness. You know what I'm saying? Like thugging people out because, for one, that's all you really have is the money and the power. You are a pig. Like, you are a pig. So you do that. And then another time, so she's saying how she felt uncomfortable. So she said what she did was, which was smart, she flipped it like, no, let me give you a massage, right? So that, I know you might not understand this, because I've been in...
Nah, she's the one.
Right, so now she's in control because she's like, she don't know what to do. She don't want to spaz. She doesn't want to... She's at his home, and obviously, like, what is she supposed to do? She's scared, so she flips it. So she's like... Right, she said she thugged him out like, no, but then she's like, no, let me give you a massage. So now it puts her in control. And then the whole time she's about to do it, she's thinking of a way to get out. Yeah. And she just found something she, to kind of get out. And even at dinner, he presses her. She purposely didn't drink because she didn't want to drink with him. Yeah. And he thugged her out at the table, like told the waiter, I'm the one paying the bill, bring her a vodka and soda. So she's like, I don't drink vodka and soda. Yeah. He was like, well, you're going to drink. She's like, no, I'm not. So they go back and forth. So she's like, the whole time, again, this is what I'm trying to tell when people start judging the woman, right? The whole time she's thinking, how am I going to like get out of this? Because I don't want to.
Still trying to give me a role.
Right. Not only that, but
because he's known to known to blackball.
Blackball. He's so powerful. I don't want to be on the wrong side with this man. That's the other part you're thinking too. So when people start like placing blame, she's telling how she got out of a situation. The only thing is that she got out and she still kept her self-worth. A lot of these women end up succumbing to it. But and then the public blames the woman. Like, you knew what you was doing. You succumb to the power. Like,
you want this shit so bad, you willing to be like, yo,
that,
fuck it,
or you're scared because you don't want to be blackballed. There's even women today who came forward who are not. I've just read this the other day. It's an article out there that said 5 different things that you'll learn from Harvey Weinstein case. Or there's still women out there who did come forward who are not willing to be a part of a documentary because they still fear being blackballed. He still has that much power. I'm just like telling the stories where it's like that. He is essentially the face.
And then you pay attention to like when people's careers did like go kaput.
Right. And it happened. So I'm bringing him up. The reason why he has to be made a spectacle of is because Bill Cosby is the most comparable case to him. basically the fucking couch. Hollywood's fucking couch. Basically, you want the role, suck my dick. That's what it is.
And my
You know what I'm
whole
saying?
beef with Oprah with this shit is that you got two people that tried to come up with these accusations against Michael Jackson. You on the forefront with this, special and doing all this bullshit, but you hugged up on the couch kissing Harvey Weinstein and all that shit. And it's 40, 50 women that are accusing him. But you jumped out the window on your so-called friend that happens to be fucking black. And two people come with these bullshit allegations that have mad holes in them, and you on the front line pumping that shit. But your boy Harvey Weinstein is 50 fucking accusers, and you don't say nothing. That's why I'm saying cancel Oprah. Because you trying to push the fucking narrative of cancel Michael Jackson, but you ain't saying nothing about this fucking fat white dude that been doing this shit serially for fucking years.
Right.
That's why I'm saying cancel her. Like, you can't come with that energy of cancel somebody and don't want it to come right back on you. That's all I'm saying. And I know
Facts.
she's black
And
all that.
I
don't
feel
wanna go
like-
against black people, but fuck. Some
Now-
black people got to get canceled.
That and the fact that, honestly, it's the same thing. Like I said, black people have been asking into thin air, what about these people? Oprah is someone that we as black people can hold accountable. Oprah, yes, you have the platform, you have the status, you seemingly have the credibility, you are the journalist. What about Weinstein? Not only Weinstein, what about whoever else? Interview victims who are not black. How about that?
I agree. I 100% agree with that. I call for that too.
I mean, predators who are not black.
Let's write her a letter on behalf of Unpopular Opinions.
Who, Oprah?
Yes.
Don't let me write it.
Exactly. So because we have to do it in a respectful manner if we want to engage in discourse, people. Come on.
I'm with that.
If we
Write
are
it.
going to, like, we
Yeah,
can't just
I'll
be
write it.
denouncing people. Let's
I'll
call
write
people
it.
to
You know why?
action.
You know why I
I'll
fuck
write
with
it,
that?
You edit it.
I
You know
can
why
do
I
that.
fuck with that? Because I was thinking about doing a blog and just saying how I called myself Young Oprah and how even writing an article and how I'm saying I'm no longer her and then giving reasons as to why. Because I feel like people have came at me before, and this is just a sidebar. Even when people mock that, like, oh, Young Oprah, yeah. So this is me getting at dudes and really rappers, right? Rappers will call themselves every fucking Italiano mobster, but I'm calling myself a billionaire, black woman who's a journalist, like who has a solid
And it's a
trade
problem
and
to
made
hating ass
money,
people.
and you hating on that? That makes
yo. Nah, fuck that. Keep saying that because you're taking those attributes of her. You weren't taking somebody in its entirety. Like, there are things you disagree
True,
with
but-
your parents with. What you
That's
saying,
true.
Young Oprah is the one that doesn't.
Young
sacrifice
Oprah
her
was the
own
one
people.
who was fighting.
Is what I'm saying.
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
The old one
That's
I
what
fucked
I
up, but the
always
young
said
one is
that.
the one that's
Facts.
not gonna
Young.
sacrifice
I wish I
our
had
black
had this
people.
recording just now. But
Fuck
Young
that.
Oprah is the one that was who we thought was the credible one, the one that
Maybe
fought
she
through.
is.
So that's
I
who
mean,
you saying you are. Like,
You don't
if
know
you-
she not.
But if you're gonna cancel somebody, you're gonna cancel them all the way, right?
fuck that though. I'm not
mean-
gonna take your. I'm taking what I want from it. Just the
That
same
name
way-
is so
same way we use
distinctive,
nigga
though.
and-
No,
and
but that
flip it
name is so
around.
distinctive. It's just like I don't know.
I feel
I
you.
you know
It's
why I
hard
feel
to roll with
retarded though.
that.
I actually have that on my jacket. You know that varsity
Oh,
jacket.
you
It
know.
You
says
still
Young
use it.
Oprah. I'm like, yo, I'm about to go get this shit.
You got to give Oprah an opportunity
Patched
to
out.
respond to
I
your
don't like that
concerns,
picture.
people.
I don't know, man. To me,
I think it's only fair.
No, she has to respond, but I think she's going to be a sucker and not because
not.
she already came out. That's what I'm trying to say.
She won't respond.
That she lost credibility and integrity by stepping out the forefront and basically saying, "I know I'm going to get backlash, but so what? What?
Yeah.
Could
that's
I-
kinda crazy.
That's fucked
there
up."
was a
Okay,
point
I can't allow. Well, we
Uh-oh.
can't continue to denounce
Oprah.
our people because we are
They
doing
calling
what we're.
they calling her Okra now. Okra.
Nah,
Auntie
wrong
Oprah,
is
you are
wrong.
still Aunt Oprah to me.
Wrong
Okay,
is wrong to me. I don't care
So-
whether you black, whether you white, whatever. I'm gonna call you out. You wrong.
Aunt
you
Oprah.
wrong.
Exactly.
Your mama
And
named
if
me
she
Cassius,
felt
I'ma
as
call
though
you
she was
Cassius.
wrong, maybe that's what happened. I would like. Did y'all hear about the company who did the 40-ounce bottle of water to look like
There's-
40
Yeah.
ounces?
There's nothing- I like that.
I think it's cool.
That
Dope.
article was mad stupid to me.
I don't know how I felt about that.
Dope marketing.
It's
Why not?
water.
It is
I
water.
drink it.
Like what? I hate whoever wrote that article.
I didn't read the article. So what's interesting is that like I read the
Oh.
headlines. Sorry, I'm being silenced.
It was funny. Wow.
Told y'all don't play.
Help me, nigga.
I'll wait as I continue to be silenced.
So, go ahead.
Can I speak now?
You could have been spoke.
I So I don't read the articles. I read the headlines and I look at the pictures sometimes.
See,
so I
I'm
can form
giving
my
you a
own
pass
opinion.
on that because you are an educated
What?
woman. Right.
No, what are you
I'm
talking
giving you
about,
a
man?
pass because you're educated. But real talk, that's what I'm trying to say. Critical minds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our people do not read articles either. They share headlines,
Yep.
and the article never supports the fucking headline.
Particularly
But you
if
get
the
a pass
network.
because you're not that person.
Particularly if the network is not where I come across the article, I don't support it, right? I have my own stream of news because I have NPR that's streaming on and like other news articles from a variety of shit that streams on my phone. But I don't agree with all of the people who put shit out there. So sometimes you will catch me read the headlines of a couple of them and look at the photos that they put out there so that I can form my own opinion before I even go and dig down. But I don't know if I like that. Because I felt as though
You like what?
I don't
Oh,
know if
the
I like
40.
the idea of branding the 40-ounce like bottle of water that way.
That's what the
I
article
like
was about, though, saying that it perpetuates, the
stigma,
the stigma,
behind
Those-
like black
like
folks.
those fucking
And it was
candies
funny.
that you look like you're smoking a cigarette, but they still
I mean,
sold
but that's
them.
still wrong, and it was still wrong. Like
Was
it
it
doesn't make
wrong?
it. It was wrong.
Yeah, it never
Was it
stopped us
wrong?
from
It was
buying
wrong.
them.
Yeah, I was excited as shit to have those just to make and like it might have been to
Exactly.
some
This
like
is
to
just
some
banging.
kids it might have been an introduction, not to me because I have not read statistics about how it has like helped. I don't whether or not it served as a gateway. I can't imagine that it would have. But like it's wrong.
But just
It's
like that, it's just a
they don't sell that shit in white people's like children's neighborhoods. They wouldn't white kids
Right.
wouldn't know nothing about them little them chewing gums with the little smoke thing.
No,
Yes, they
hell
do.
yeah.
Y'all think so?
candy, yeah.
I think we
Yeah.
need to survey that.
Nah, that
They
shit
did
was
not
the
sell that
shit
shit on the
babe.
Caribbean
Nah,
on Caribbean islands.
May not be on the Caribbean island, but I'm pretty sure they sold it
They sold
downtown.
it in
And in
Memphis.
DC, I remember going I remember that shit being on the ice cream truck like in DC and in the corner stores and like going to suburbs of like of Maryland at that time and not being able to see that shit in their little corner stores.
Well, my friends in Sheepshead Bay definitely had that shit. Like, we used to fuck with them, we used to get them shits from there. So, I mean, that was a pretty, like...
But
Yeah.
wasn't Sheepshead Bay like for poor excuse me, but for like poor
I don't know. Was it? I don't think so.
No.
It was majority white people.
Just
so I
white.
always felt
But I thought it was
they
like
they had houses
poorer
and shit.
Italian.
I mean, but the whole purposes of it is
Yeah,
just
how
to,
the
it's
street,
just to
excuse me.
appeal
The street, not necessarily
or
poor.
try to get people to buy water and
Poor.
appeal to those who drink 40 ounces.
I think it was dope marketing.
Yeah,
To
I
the-
think so
It's
too.
water instead of
to
picking
the
up small
hierarchy
liquor.
of like New York
I'm
City.
gonna buy it.
I wouldn't say it's poor because
Really?
there's more of houses out there.
So
Yeah,
It's
old
not a
houses.
poor- it's not a
Yeah,
bad
it's
neighborhood. It's not-
I didn't think
are
so.
we off of the Oprah Gayle?
It was
Yeah,
a
can
good
we
dialogue.
dead
Yeah,
that?
they
Like, what-
fuck,
I'm over that.
Oprah pissed. Nah, man.
I think
like,
Q wants to dead
Like
the
what
whole
else?
Oprah
What
talk.
else more do you want to say? You said ever. We got the point.
like
It ain't gonna change nothing.
Michael Jackson.
Wait till you see this shirt I'm gonna make. I found the dope picture that's gonna do it all. I'm not gonna say fuck
dear.
Oprah though. I'm just
Okay.
gonna say MJ
I
forever.
gotta say, yo, Michael Jackson.
I
to
was gonna
me,
make a hat that said fuck Oprah.
I'm down for that.
But a lot of
Yeah.
black people are mad about that because even one of my like longtime friends, when I posted the hashtag, as I keep sharing more truth, the fuck Oprah. He's like, oh, I get what you're saying, but that's too harsh.
Yeah, I agree.
You know why it's not? Because you are stamping.
You saying
All I'm
doing
gonna
the
say
same
this-
thing.
All I'm gonna say this though, but here's the thing though. The Michael Jackson thing is so orchestrated that people don't realize the documentary had very poor ratings. We didn't support it like that. It wasn't comparable to the R. Kelly ratings.
Yeah,
it didn't do that.
It
It wasn't even promoted on the same wave. Probably I don't
Probably
know why.
wasn't.
But it wasn't supported the same way. So that's number one. So they lost with that. But still, it shows you a couple of things. 2 white men accuse this man of this, and the very next day or 2 days later, music gets pulled. R. Kelly's music has not been pulled.
I thought it.
No,
Oh,
it was specifically
But I thought
streams.
Spotify, I thought big people like Spotify came out and said, we ain't gonna
Streams.
X people out, but
Right.
what we gonna do is like get y'all a mute
Stop
button so you can
advertising.
stop,
They
so you
was
can mute who the
That's
fuck you don't
different.
want to
We
hear.
had to go on a campaign to say mute him. The powers that be pulled him off the radio.
Word.
That's crazy.
Word.
Secondly,
Crucifixion.
worldwide, even in London, the people in London, though, unlike our bitch asses, they were out there protesting the network. Like, fuck that. You're not going to do that. But still, they also
The
took down.
reality is, don't nobody really know.
No, but I'm just saying that the fact that you could tell how it's orchestrated. So the fact that happened, and then that can actually lead to that based on what? Based on a one.
bullshit.
No,
I
no,
think
no, no,
y'all
no,
saying fuck Oprah is like you're essentially doing the same thing that Oprah's doing.
No,
And, like,
wait.
we have to continue.
No, we
I'm down
don't.
for
But I'm
that.
just saying that I want people to realize how it's being orchestrated, how the powers
No,
that
I
be
agree.
are. And she's a part of that. So the fact that she gave credence. See, I don't have a problem with her interviewing him. Like I said,
You guys, Me Too is orchestrated, right? Of course, all of these movements are orchestrated.
No,
They all
orchestrated. When I say orchestrated, meaning like the powers that be have already had this plan. So there's no way that two people's assessment of what happened in a documentary could lead to that 10 years after he's dead. There's no way that could be that powerful that the world can say we're going to pull his music off the radio. How? That's what I'm saying. It's orchestrated. Like, this whole thing is an agenda. The agenda was to shut him down. The same thing. See, R. Kelly can't get that.
Sunday.
To get thing. R. Kelly can't get that. But Bill Cosby can. Now R. Kelly can because of the Gayle interview. So now ever since watch how things go. After the Gayle interview, the day after he goes right to jail.
He got right back out, by the way.
So what? But it's just the whole thing. It's
He had
planned.
that.
I know,
Yeah,
but the
that's
thing
what
is,
he
guys,
spread
we
out.
don't know to which degree it's planned. Like, I think we can all sit out here and speculate and recognize those things, but we don't know to which
No,
degree
what
all
we
of
should
these
know
things
is that
are
we're
orchestrated.
next. That's what someone else said. So what's happening to black people right now with these three men as it's going down, you cannot think that you're so far removed.
I don't know, like, I gotta separate again.
Okay,
we keep
I'm
talking about grouping
I
everything
can't
together.
anymore.
I
Can
like
we-
to separate Michael Jackson from those two because R. Kelly, I watched the video. You're absolutely guilty. Bill Cosby, I feel like it's crazy. There's 60 people accusing you. There are two people who have both sworn under oath that nothing absolutely didn't happen, are now coming up with these bullshit accusations. These are two totally different situations. Like, you can't group them together. And I think to accuse and try to put the worst label of anything you can be, the worst thing in this world that you can be is a child rapist. There's nothing lower than that. You could be a fucking serial killer. I think a child rapist is lower than that. To me, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So to put this label on somebody who...
I think they're both pretty low. But
They're both pretty low, but I think that's a low. Like,
No, it's lower to take the innocence of a child.
What I'm saying is there can be an excuse in where you have to kill somebody. I can see a justified killing of someone. If something happened and such happened and you had to kill him, I could be like, yo, that's justified. There's no justification of raping a child ever. There's no
not.
situation that can happen that can say where it's justified. So that's why I say
I
give
feel you.
a murderer more of a pass than I do a child rapist.
I'm glad you
But-
said that because I got into a big debate with
I guess
that about
to
somebody.
give that more context, because when people say I'll justify a murder, you say a justified killing.
A justified killing, yeah. I mean, it could be, murder, because
Yeah,
murder automatically
yeah.
means that it's not justified,
Yeah.
I guess. But yeah, a justified killing. If you kill somebody because, whatever. there's
Breaking in your
reasons why-
house.
Yeah,
I
so
get
somebody
that.
breaks
Yeah,
in your house,
yeah, yeah.
that's justified.
Yeah.
There's no somebody breaking in your house, you rape them.
Yeah.
That's some wild shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's some other shit. So what I'm saying is to try to put this label on this man who, since the fucking 70s, has been trying to preach love and acceptance and peace in a planet that's basically been trying to crucify him for 25 years is fucking crazy. I think it's fucking biblical.
Yeah, I mean, watching the doc, like we all grew up on Mike. Like Mike,
Of course.
it was like losing a family member when he passed away in my
Absolutely.
house. So
Absolutely.
So that's why it was so difficult for me to watch. But watching it again, this dude Safe Chuck, it just I could have done without his story because that I'm not gonna front. It led me to doubt a little
But
bit.
why? Because his face
I guess
believable?
because
Like,
no,
I mean,
not
a little
only
bit more
that,
than
but it was just more or less his family, and these kids were pretty much pimped out by their parents, by their moms, in a sense. It was just kind of fucked up, and I think more or less with him, which watching the doc. Let me just explain it further. Watching the documentary, I assessed it like, you know what, there's some doubt. But then afterwards, sitting in it, I was realizing like these kids was just pimped out. There's no really pointing the finger on Michael Jackson. No, they should be pointing the finger at their parents because it's like they use them essentially.
If it
So-
happened, Michael Jackson would be 1,000% wrong, whether their parents wanted to come up or not, because raping a child, there's no justification.
No, I
for it.
I don't believe it,
But-
but it had me think it. But then I had to realize, oh, these parents, man, they're to blame. They put their kids out there to create these fallacies, but they
Sidebar, I think I feel people don't agree with me, but I feel like that's what Joe Jackson did to Michael Jackson.
Agreed.
I agree with that too.
Agreed.
I feel like, that,
I wonder why the
you
siblings
know,
ain't say nothing.
I feel like
There's a reason.
But I don't
they
think-
probably all been touched, but I feel
So-
like let me just say I just feel like other than cracking the whip, I don't have a problem with him doing that. I feel like parents should, if you see talent in your child or your children, and he had it's the same thing with LeVar Ball, him pushing his kids. You know what I'm saying? But the difference is, I do feel like once they got to the point of the deal, I feel like maybe he didn't know, but I feel like he sold Mike.
I don't know about
Mike
if it
was touched.
I don't think
May
he was
not be
touched.
by
I
his
think what
dad,
happened-
but by somebody.
No. I don't think he was touched. Y'all know I'm super Michael Jackson historian, but they were.
Really, I thought it was Prince, but yeah.
He's both.
I don't have to separate the two. I never have to.
I'm
I
fucking
never
with
have
you.
to
I'm
choose.
fucking with you.
He's
But
dead serious right
No, but I'm joking. With
I don't
you.
have to separate the two.
Don't have to
I
separate
never
the
have
two.
to separate. But he was definitely in the room while his brothers were having sex with girls while he was underage, which I think
Which is also
scarred
dramatic.
him, which made him not really have too cool of a relationship with sex. It's crazy when you 10 years old in the same room, literally looking at your brother have sex. Like,
How'd you find
watching
that out?
porn. He said that multiple times. I've heard
That's
him
why I
say
wanted
it.
him. That's why I said missed you
said that
last week, because
multiple
I knew
times.
you had information
Yeah. He said
that we're not
multiple
gonna know.
times.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's
Mhm.
die hard. You know?
Mhm.
Oh,
He said that multiple times. Like, they were on the road. They had to share hotel rooms. And it was a thing where, like, Joseph kind of, he felt like that's what you're supposed to do as a man. So almost kind of like, like Joseph knew about it. Like, you supposed, like, Jermaine's supposed to be fucking girls in front of you. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. And Mike being 10.
hell no.
Kinda, but what I'm saying is that's how he was sexually molested. I don't
That's
think
that,
he was
let me make-
actually touched like somebody said, but that scarred him sexually and made him have that.
Now
kind
that
of
now
standard
me hearing
relationship
that, maybe
with sex.
I feel like sometimes I try not to, I subscribe to a conspiracy theory where, like I said, that this is what goes on in the industry. Parents sell their children for success.
Shit, that's what
I
used to
think we
happen,
also
like,
forget
thousands of
that
years ago.
trauma
Like, yo, I'll
is
give you
something
my
that is
daughter to-
Yeah.
trauma is something that exploited in like artistic creativity. Like I feel like over and over again we hear like that all of these artists have some weird ass traumatic experiences, and like so I do feel as though like producers and shit like that and people in the industry, they exploit those circumstances and or create those circumstances for people to be exploited because maybe they feel like that's where authentic pain comes from for good music. But I feel like over and over again we hear shit like that, so I don't think it's far-fetched to believe that he was exposed to circumstances, but I also don't think it's far-fetched to believe that he was in like compromising circumstances because he was so young as
That's-
well,
but-
and he was so young around all those people.
But that's what I was gonna say. I feel like maybe he didn't knowingly, but I feel like once the deal was signed, I feel like he was a child, and I feel like white people around him, whatever. I feel like I felt like he was touched. That kind of changes it. Maybe he wasn't, but
And then watching your father have sex with women, he's also said that like. That is super scarring too. At 10 and 11 years old,
especially when
watching
he's
your
not in
father
tune
have
yet.
sex
And
with
So we
women,
mentioned this to
cheating on
say
your,
what
moms.
though?
No,
No,
that
but-
gives credence. That actually helps me pull away from the conspiracy that he was touched.
Yeah, that's when people say, "Yo, he was molested." I always come with, "I don't know," because of course I wasn't there.
Yeah, nobody
but I know
knows.
these
But
stories for a
I will
fact,
say
and
he
think
only
about
felt
how that would
comfortable
scar
around
you.
children. Like I don't like when people start because I saw a video someone sent me, right, of him before he died, shooting. It was like a photo shoot or something, and how uncomfortable he got when the photographer like touched him.
Because he would say in multiple interviews that at such a young age, 10 and 11 years old, he got to see the worst in people. He's seeing business people. He's in business meetings. They're on the road. It's all this and this and that. So he's saying from the point where he was supposed to be innocent, he saw the worst in people. Almost a juxtaposition of your childhood where it's supposed to be so innocent and pure. You're seeing the absolute
And you don't think nothing was
worst.
done to him?
I don't know.
I think all we can do with all of these circumstances is speculate, right? Because I feel like even with these boys bringing a story out,
what people are calling weird, right? I'm trying to justify the way he acted.
I don't think it's
Peter Pan syndrome.
But there's no doubt that like I don't think anyone doubts that that he didn't have a childhood. There's no doubt that he was around circumstances that was just unhealthy for him as a child or that created an unhealthy adult. You know what I mean? I think hands down, like him and R. Kelly, it's evident that like they have both been traumatized.
R. Kelly has a very tragic story though, because we know, like, but I just don't have the empathy anymore.
No, and that I like,
did
respect
empathize.
as well.
You have to empathize with victims, but when you
100%.
become, but the one thing we can probably close out on this. The one thing we all know though is that all victims do not become pedophiles.
Absolutely.
100%.
So
hello.
That's how we should close
However,
out.
what I wish they would properly do is proper research. That is a fact.
That's a fact.
Absolutely.
No, I said I don't know. Like as far as like
all victims not becoming pedophiles.
I wasn't talking about that.
Oh,
in general.
I was like, oh,
you know, he's in
Leave in Neverland.
He's in a different.
He's in Neverland.
It was the hour time difference.
And
that the victory drinks after the win yesterday. I suppose. But to fuck. Shoot. I said I need to stop cursing because somebody told me that I curse too much on this show.
They must hate me because I know I curse too much. They probably said they. Because I
mean, until you get it back, like what the document, then I guess we can leave it. Again, I'm glad that it is over and done with. I will say this though, I would like people to, I don't know, just get a better understanding of who Michael Jackson was, but not through this documentary, because it's a poor example. Because I feel like this documentary is going to speak to those who are like not our generation, but the generations like after, kind of thing. And it's like this is what they're going to see.
No, it depends on what's being pushed, right? It depends on what's pushed by their families. And I feel like y'all already stated it, that there's clearly a difference between the way that people.
But
like
the thing is,
no, but that's what they're trying to kill. Because you notice, even kids today. I just saw a video of a little boy who has cancer dancing to Mike. That's what they want to kill. They want to stop that.
Theory, and people say I'm fucking crazy, you're a super fan, you're a fanatic or whatever. This is the closest thing to scripture we've ever seen in real life. Michael Jackson resonates with all human beings on a different level. There's no age, there's no sex, there's no religion, there's no demographic that you can attribute Michael Jackson's music to. There are babies that are 2 years old that have never seen any of the marketing, none of all of this shit taking over the world, and you play that shit for them and they are instantly mesmerized. This is a person who they tried to crucify for 20 years until the day that he died, was still trying to preach peace, was still trying to preach love, was still trying to donate to charities. Who else among us could have taken all of that, them calling you a homosexual, them busting in your house and telling you that the cops got to take pictures of your dick for some bullshit accusations that somebody made, and you still trying to push that fucking era of peace? This is almost like fucking Jesus. When he's on the fucking cross and he's telling them, yo, forgive them, Father, they don't know what they're doing. That's still, this motherfucker still, after 30 years of y'all doing that, he's still trying to push this agenda. Like, I never seen Jesus for real, but I watched this motherfucker do this shit. Since the 70s, this was his fucking angle. And y'all try to rip him down so much, and he still fucking did it. Like, it's mind-boggling to me.
Then they killed him.
And then they killed him. It's mind-boggling for me for us to try to make this fucking,
all we can do is speculate, guys.
I think the skin
there's
color
a lot
shit.
of facts there too.
I think the skin color shit is a fucking metaphor, because he was every person. He had to be every fucking complexion because he represented everybody. If you watch the videos, it'll always be somebody Asian. It'll always be somebody black. It'll always be somebody white. It'll always be somebody Indian. It will always be children, because his fucking message from the beginning was to fucking help everybody. And I think him being a kid, seeing the corruption in people so early is what made him be like that. It's almost like he had to make the sacrifice as a kid for us to get this fucking profit. And for us as black people to fucking rip him down and try to fucking put this label on him over these two bullshit accusations is fucking crazy. It's like us going against our fucking profit. Like, it's wild. How could you fucking do that to this man that gave us so fucking much? That basically gave his life. They killed him for that shit. He didn't have no childhood. He never had a fucking girl. He never had a real relationship with his kids like that for fucking us.
And we gonna do this shit that cause people to raise an eyebrow. I'm just saying.
Like,
I'm just throwing out all the speculation that exists out there.
You cannot give me any advice. You cannot.
I think I need access. I think I need access because I don't think it's fair that you continue to silence my perspective.
When it comes to Michael, yes.
No, Michael.
All right,
slander,
off
man.
mic.
Yeah, I love
Off
Michael.
the wall.
I'm
Mike.
just being like when
I
you
respect
think
that,
about
though.
journalistic integrity, I feel like I would need to lead the charge in this group on journalistic integrity around this.
sorry.
Wow.
I'm just saying because all y'all are like super
No.
fans, and don't get me wrong, I'm a fan.
I'm journalistic
I'm super
integrity.
fan, but like I said, I
But-
watched the doc.
Yeah.
I'm
But
gonna
I-
get all the information before I speak. I'm not just gonna speak.
So
I,
for
my
him
thing is
watching the
not
doc-
it's no longer about him, right? Because those who treasure Michael, like, and Michael's always going to have the effect that he has. It's just that sometimes I hate that we allow these types of things to place limitations, right? It's all a matter of perspective and opinion. People who still respect that man are still going to continue to respect him and still going to continue to spread his music.
I love Michael Jackson.
Exactly.
Yes.
Fuck with
Shit,
dignity
I
and
realized.
respect. I love Michael Jackson like a fucking family member.
But
I see.
but
I just thought it was Prince, but I realize now.
Both.
no,
I love them
but
like
it
family
did.
members.
It has. We speak on it because it has had an effect.
Yeah.
Like it took a little time. Like days later, it started to trickle. I started to see a lot of posts saying, "Yo, Mike touched them kids, man. Yo,
Word.
Mike touched them kids." Sometimes I would try to ignore it, and sometimes I'm like, "Man, shut the."
And
shut
my
your
thing
dumb
is,
ass
and
up.
I don't know if
know what
he
I'm
did or
saying?
he didn't. I do not know if he did or he didn't. I think the fact that we the conversation rests right here. So here's the thing, right? If people do not want the narrative out there, then we stop talking about it. Right? The man is not here to defend himself. And so I'm comfortable with not talking about it because the man is not here to defend himself. And if nobody have any like I said last week, if nobody have
MJ
no
forever,
fucking
man.
video, then I cannot believe it definitively. But I also cannot denounce it because if it's a part of somebody's experience, it is. And someone needs to say that. Because again, it's not recognizing what the fuck victims go through because of one man. And I don't think that's right. Right? And I think it's way beyond whether or not it's a Michael situation. Now let's explore what the real issues are. 1, exploitation of children who are artists. 2, not understanding how trauma fucks with little children. And having these big ass stories and leaving them there, right? I'm pretty sure that there are people out there who can do clinical research and explore how it is that trauma affects the brain. It happens to too many children for it to not happen. But no, we continue to throw shit out here and create this big uproar and do what? Because we're still talking about it. We talked about this shit for 3 hours.
I think that
when there was great music put out, you see what I'm saying? And and this is how we continue to give this shit energy. No, but not if we are not giving people things to, not if we're not disrupting the narrative. In my opinion,
I'm trying to disrupt it. I don't want nobody.
I think
to
the
try
bigger
to push
issue
that poison
we
on.
need to the thing is that we need to highlight and look at and attack and go against these people that are calling themselves pedosexuals. And we need to be fighting the normalization of that's what they call themselves, pedosexuals.
Whoa.
And we need to be fighting the normalization of pedophilia. That's the only
Amen.
thing. That's the only thing that made me feel a way about TEDx. Now TEDx, we look at it because of the brand. You think it's like a great thing, right?
Yeah.
But they gave these people a platform. I found out about these people justifying it was a doctor or some bullshit, some chick who basically was. I couldn't even sit through past the first 5 minutes.
I was about to say,
Who basically.
I know what that is. My bad.
Well, oh.
I was just gonna put.
Try to silence
Who
me.
basically was saying that pedophilia should be normalized.
And I
is
don't
what
agree.
we need. But that is what in the next
Sometimes
5 to
it's a matter
10
of
years they are going
interpretation.
to try
They
to
are.
force that on us.
They're trying to say it's a
That is
mental
crazy.
condition so that it would take away the legal ramifications. Like you can no longer be prosecuted for it if it's.
But
No,
then,
but here's the
if
thing,
there's
though.
not
We would have to-
if there's not a concentration island or something to put people on, then I don't ain't nobody trying
What
to
I'm
hear that.
saying is right or wrong sometimes doesn't matter.
No,
With
but
the
I'm saying
law,
we need
what's
to attack
dictated in
that.
Society. Yeah, nah,
So I
absolutely
started
we do.
thinking, I'm like, okay, so you basically saying that, because this is true, though, it makes me think about this more and more. So basically saying that children are sexual at a certain, earlier ages. Because if you're trying to make this thing real, it's two-sided, right? It's not just, it can't just justify you as an adult touching children. You're saying that children want this. Essentially.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to say.
I can't get into this.
Exactly,
because
but no, but
it's
it-
Nah, but they're
overwhelming.
trying
the
to
more
do that.
I
That's
was
what they're trying to
once
push that shit.
once it came up with R. Kelly from before, and from a while ago. Once that
I
came
can't
up,
talk about this.
once I
It's
know, but
overwhelming me.
that I got to that point too, and I'm like, in order to fight, it's like how far am I really willing to go with research? because in order to fight them, you have to get that information.
Yeah.
I have to prove that children do not want sex from fucking adults at the age of 10. Like, why would I want that?
Exactly. And I think the thing is, if they're going to like argue one side about pedophilia, and when I say argue one side, argue that like I don't know what the fuck the argument is. But then they have to also be ready and willing to fund and support the research around like
But there has to
kids
be a
not
group.
being developed enough to even be able to make
people have to be
decisions
doing that.
around that.
Right, but I'm saying that someone has to be fighting it because otherwise I
we
do
have
feel
to?
yes because
what I'm saying is that's not fucking obvious. Like we got
Clearly
do
not.
research for
because
that.
they're trying to normalize it. It's called pedosexual.
Yeah,
They're
I
trying to
know, I
be
see
included in the LBGT community. They
Yeah.
want the P.
LGBT.
Like what the
Alright.
fuck?
I'm good on that.
Exactly, but I'm saying who's fighting it because that means in the next we have to organize in the next 5 to 10 years. That's what I'm saying. Dr. Umar brought that up, and I'm like, I said all this that they're trying. This whole case. This is why this is so big, right? Because this whole case determines that. Like, if R. Kelly ends up getting off, they can utilize that as a way to say, oh, well, black people, you co-signed it or whatever, you know? Even though we don't control the fucking powers that be, we don't control the law. The law is not even for us, but that would be placed on us because he's black. I do feel that because I get nervous when I read up on it because it is disgusting. But it's like, how far are you willing to go? I guess we got to find, is there a group of people that are fighting this? Because they will normalize pedophilia in the next 5 to 10 years, yo.
Oh dear.
But let's just get off the topic, man.
Please.
What's next?
Well, you know what? I hope in the next 5 to 10 years that I'm able to fund people to research the other side of the
And combat
story.
that shit.
Yeah.
This is just not.
Woo! Niggas know what that is.
Nice segue, you know, why not?
Lit, baby. Classic. That's the last track on probably the best album ever.
Come on, Q.
What? I still enjoy Michael's music. Y'all ain't got to convince me to enjoy the man's
Nobody's convinced you. I'm just
this-
telling you to
this
come
was
on,
the
let's dance,
beginning of it.
Q.
If you
He
watch
meant
the-
come
Exactly.
on. He meant
Come
come
on,
on.
come on. I used to love this video back
This
in
is
the
the
day.
beginning of it. If you pay attention to the
Yeah.
video of the media trying to crucify him, this is the beginning of it. If you watch the video, all the fucking the imagery in the video, that's all he was saying. They tried to crucify my nigga for 30, 40 fucking years, man. And still,
You can't play that long.
I know.
I'm about to say you bugging.
48 seconds.
so good.
Okay.
Yeah. Mike, you know,
Yeah.
Mike will never go against us.
I just
Mike
hope
will
that the
stay,
truth
never go
comes,
against
like the
us.
truth is the truth. Like hopefully, like it really exists. That it always reveals itself, right? So let's just hope
What
for
you
that.
doing? What'd you say?
It's a wrap.
Signaling to change, to go to the next topic.
Oh, I thought I was about to say you wanted a
This is
a
emotionally
sound
taxing.
effect?
I don't
No,
know.
you-
I don't know
Mike,
why,
keep
but shit like
talking
this is
about it,
emotionally
so I'm trying to
taxing.
get you to, like, go
And
to the
like
next thing.
I
because
didn't
you don't
wanna-
want to believe this.
No, just go.
Let's keep it here. Let's keep it with Mike.
No, son.
Fucking jerk.
Come
on.
I love, yeah, I'll go forever. I can't. We gotta do it. I can't. Cause I'm
Nah, but
good for 10
A
hours.
whole hot 2 hours.
oh, stop it, Q. Anyway, moving forward. King James.
Court
Your
Jester,
guy?
Court Jester, James, Court Jester, the fucking joke.
What are your thoughts on him not breaking a record, but like moving up on the scoring list?
It was gonna happen. We live in a different era of basketball. Is it a great accomplishment? Absolutely. You're the 4th highest scoring person in NBA history. But as a Laker fan, we don't celebrate. There's no moral victories in LA. This ain't Cleveland. Like us not making the playoffs and you breaking that bullshit record. We don't give a fuck about that. Like, I'm a Laker fan. Like, I'm used to winning championships. This is the premier franchise in the NBA. All of that, you know, moral victory. Oh, I don't give a fuck about that, bro. How many of those points did you score in my uniform? Like, I don't care. So
That's true.
Fuck
That's a
that.
good point.
How many
We're-
black kids did you help in this community?
We're
Whoop,
not.
whoop.
We're not making the playoffs. So like, and again, I'm down for like
Versus how many of them you exploited. Whoop, whoop.
when I go hard at him, I go hard at him as a basketball player. Like all of that personal shit, you know, he did the school, he did all that. I'm not talking about his character as a man. I discuss him as a basketball player. I don't care what these people do outside of that. So like, you know, that's dope that he made the school. That's dope and all. But when you put on my jersey, I'm gonna win, bro. And you don't fucking win. So you got to answer to that.
I mean, it was gonna happen inevitably. People passing Jordan, Kobe passed Jordan. It's
Yeah.
gonna happen. Somebody's gonna pass.
Kobe's better, but
at some point in time, somebody's gonna pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
that's gonna be pretty hard. But somebody is gonna do it.
Who is the number one?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh, he is
Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay.
He's
But-
going to do. Somebody's
Is
gonna
he?
do it.
He's still alive, right?
Yeah, he's still alive.
Okay.
What? My son Kareem was on Dancing with
No,
the
because
Stars
he's-
last year. Like,
No, but he's been 0 for, and I don't mean it like that, but he's been 0 for a minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's been retired for a minute. I remember him being retired
in
and
the
I'm
70s.
fucking living single, so I just didn't remember.
yeah, he's in the
I mean, it's a
60s now.
good thing. you
No,
know?
that's great
I mean,
to see, like, but
Yeah.
I just wish I saw him more publicly, I guess. So I remember.
I guess LeBron James, he has this following like on social media. It's like you always have to be wary of what you put about LeBron James because you get that backlash.
The Braun sexuals.
Yeah,
That's what they call
so
them,
it's just
Braun
like-
sexuals.
So I put up like, okay, that makes that. I guess he's better than Jordan now. He passed him, and then motherfucker was just like, yep. And then I'm like, come on, man.
No, fuck, he's not.
Oh wait,
Yeah,
I might have.
people felt like
Did
that
I comment on
beforehand.
that? I think I started to.
You can't
With
be
the
better
picture
than
with the rings?
someone if you
Yeah.
made if
I
you
started
got
to comment,
if you
I think.
passed him after 2 whole you played 2 whole seasons more than he did.
Exactly, and he's gonna play more obviously because of the state. The game has changed, and I think
Absolutely.
people don't understand that.
He shot like 3,000 more threes than Jordan did, which obviously gives you.
And he
more
came
a
out of
chance
high
to
school,
make-
so that automatically gives him like what 3
But actually,
years?
it still makes him not better than him if he came out when you do the math right. If he started playing ball earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and you still had to play 2 seasons to pass him, you're not better than him.
But
That's
that's
clear.
but that's
Though.
you guys thinking that like it's only contingent upon him, like evaluating like him being better is only contingent upon him
No,
as a player
I'm
and
saying
not
the
just
stats.
the game playing
Yeah.
changing.
No, but it's that. But I'm saying from a surface standpoint, not as now I'm just a casual fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's why I asked you guys when you look at the stats. I'm like, it made me ask. Okay, so how long was Jordan playing? Okay, well, how long was LeBron playing? So if he started before Jordan,
Yeah,
and he still took him 3 years to pass him.
true. But what I will
He's
say
not
is
better than him.
Jordan
But
did
not unless
take more
like
shots
everybody
though.
else.
He did.
Jordan
Because what
took
if you
more
evaluate
shots,
this?
so-
The one thing that I don't like about statistics is that like it could be linear, right? So that's if you're evaluating just LeBron and Jordan themselves. What we also not evaluating is like the people that they're playing against.
Absolutely.
So like, okay, how many more shots did people make against Jordan
Mm-hmm.
than, if that makes any sense, or how much more defense happened with Jordan
But
versus
still,
LeBron?
you
Those
still
things
had
do
a head
contribute.
start, and you still took 3. You
No,
had a
but if you were
3-year
to and I don't disagree, right? But that's if you only look at the stats in that way.
But that's what they're promoting, just the stats.
No,
And
but
yeah.
it's a very one-sided way of looking at the stats. You're only looking at that one person, not the things that changed around them.
I get what
and
you're
that's
saying.
an ignorant ass way of looking at
Yeah.
statistics, and that's why, that's why I think researchers manipulate information all the time and throw it out there.
Yeah, because nobody thinks about.
I'm lost.
Meaning, like for example, think of how when Jordan was at his prime, think of what he had to go up against in the '90s ball. Comparison, what LeBron goes up against in his era. Think about the Eastern
it was his own
Conference.
defense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and Eastern Conference in LeBron era was pretty much non-existent. It was him versus everybody else. Whereas MJ, it was the league. Like he shut down the league. LeBron just shut down the conference.
So it's not about
So
how
it's like
many
that.
shots you threw
Yeah.
only. It's about how
What
many,
you were
like
up
how many
against.
people
The
were
league was
blocking
different.
you,
Like
like
how they
how
called
often
the
they
It was
blocked
harder
them.
for Jordan.
Exactly.
No,
but I'm saying,
I
looking
don't-
at
I
it
don't-
in a one-sided perspective,
Yeah.
it only gives you one set of the data. It only shows you
I'm
what Jordan
doing-
and LeBron did. It didn't show you what they had to go up against, and those
Right,
two
and
things
so
speak
I'm-
to the numbers.
And so my assessment is still just based on that. It's still based on a surface assessment. It's saying that any bronze sexual who's saying that means that he's better than him on the surface. I'm speaking that as a casual fan. To me, on the surface, is no way that he can be better than him.
Yeah.
If
I disagree.
Nah.
He can be better.
You cannot give me any advice. All that bullshit. That's nice. And then we look at the data.
That's what I just
What's
did.
the
Pull the
data?
fucking data.
What's the data?
That's
what I'm
my
saying.
thing. That is the thing that I'm saying, though. I haven't seen it. So, like, I can't say definitively. Okay, it's very, that's why I don't like to speak up sometimes. It's one thing to just look at how many shots LeBron threw versus how many shots Jordan threw, right? It is another thing to look at how many shots they threw. The people that were blocking them, whether or not the height variance was different, like whether or not there was height variance in different, whether or not
There's so many
like
different
there's so
variables
many
to
different
consider.
variables to factor in, and we only looked at one dimension of it, and there's no way that a story could be told by looking at one dimension,
But
because
that's the
then
narrative
you're
that they're
giving
pushing.
one second. Then you're giving credence to this idea that it's that one player that dictates like the sport, and then that's a very ignorant way of, in my opinion,
Go ahead.
of looking at the data and saying that there's no way that one is better than the other.
So- go
If
ahead.
it is that like there's so many other things that change the numbers, in my opinion. I don't know if the courts got bigger. I don't know if the ball, like the circumference of the ball changed. Like all of those things factor into all of that shit.
It really doesn't. Because
it does.
It absolutely
No,
does.
because what's being promoted is the meme that I sent, which is simply 7 different stats that he passed Jordan in. So we're only going from a surface standpoint of that.
It was see with the stat, there's no one stat that dictates somebody being better than somebody. Like that one basket, that 2 points that took LeBron from before Jordan to after Jordan, that one basket doesn't make him better than Michael Jordan.
No.
It's a cumulative thing of everybody's career. I understand what she's saying about different variables. There are a lot of different variables between when Jordan played and when LeBron played. The court is bigger now when LeBron played.
They pushed back the
allowed
three-point
to
line.
play. They moved it back and then they moved it forward and they moved it back. But they weren't allowed to play zone defense when Jordan played, which I think is a tote to LeBron. Jordan actually took more shots than LeBron. So even though LeBron played more seasons, Jordan has taken 1,200 more shots, which is the way you score. So someone could use that and say that makes him better. I think you have to look at
all of those
the
variables.
Stats. Yeah, you have to look at everything.
You know what? We're saying the same thing.
Yeah, but it's like, but my thing
I'm
was,
saying that it's not enough. All I'm saying is that it's not enough for someone to even say that he is better. We're saying the same thing.
Yes, essentially. But I just really wanted to make the point that like even just looking from those 7 data points is very. It's very subjective.
But
it is.
It's someone
but that's
said,
what
like,
they're
let's look at these
promoting. Like, I mean, to me, it's a casual standpoint. When I saw it, I'm like, okay. The critical question came to me like
50% more blacks are suspended from schools. You see what I'm saying? It's like some motherfucker saying 50% more like black kids are suspended from schools. They must be more difficult.
Exactly.
That's
but
not
also,
what the fuck it is.
But it's also the eye test, experiencing that. We were able to see MJ play in his prime. We were able to see LeBron play in his prime in the earlier stages. So we can make that. We can assess all the data, and then we can go by the eye test. I have that privilege to see MJ play during the same time, and also around the same time LeBron is playing now, and it's massively different, right? So it's a matter of that. And also, data means nothing. Stats mean nothing.
Actually, that's a damn lie.
It doesn't.
When you say that, please explain.
Thank you. So stats mean nothing. It doesn't mean shit because at the same time, the number one scorer. Think about it. Exactly. It doesn't mean
everything.
Yeah,
it's not black and white. Oh, they have better stats there.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he has the most points in NBA history. Bill Russell.
Oh, I saw a professional basketball player the other day, but I don't know their name, so it doesn't matter. Never mind.
Thanks, Q.
Sorry. I apologize. It was an impulsive.
You got it. What?
It was impulsive, my bad.
What are you talking about, man?
Stop silencing me.
When you say shit like that, I'm like,
I don't deserve to be silenced ever.
Obviously not professional.
Shit.
You don't know who he is.
Nah.
No, but
I don't know who he is, dumbass.
You think it's better?
I think like Bill Russell, he has the most rings in NBA history. So stats, in some regards, they don't really do much. They don't really represent much.
Let me ask you this though. This is off a little bit, but do you feel that way about stats across the board, not just sports? I mean, in general.
I think so. Absolutely.
I'm glad you said that.
Because
you just said that. You said 50%. You gave the example, right?
Because half of the people.
I think what I'm saying is different. He's saying that data doesn't matter at all. I'm saying it.
He's correcting. He's saying that it doesn't matter. It's not everything.
It's not the end all be all. Exactly.
I'm bringing that
up.
And
I'm saying that I feel like you could look at like all the stats that exist and it could tell a story.
Absolutely, it does.
So I feel like
all the stats
that exist around a circumstance.
But that's I'm bringing that up only just a slight tangent because got into a quick argument about people with 401ks, right? So I basically said, well, if you work and you worked for a certain period of time, I'm assuming that you have a 401k, you know, because it was that kind of, it wasn't even about that. But this dickhead went and looked up the Americans amount of, basically it said like something like where 20 million Americans do not have a 401k. So he used that stat to prove that most people don't. I'm like, that's not. And then he's like, oh, you can't.
But even the idea of him going, because 401ks is not the only way that you can save for retirement. You know what I mean? If that's the way that you were getting, because then that eliminates the idea of 403Bs, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Come on, man.
Anyway,
But that's
yeah.
why, like,
exactly. That's where it makes
50% of black kids are
right.
50% more black kids are suspended from schools and are arrested more than.
But that's where it makes what he's saying makes sense to say that on the surface it's not everything.
Got it. What I thought he was saying, what I thought you were saying with the way that he said it.
LeBron James scores 15 points on Thursdays.
Yeah, like
dumbass stats like that.
But the only reason why I emphasized it because what I thought he was saying is that data doesn't matter at all, and those are. And
well, that's not true.
Exactly. So I thought that's what you were saying.
I mean,
and that's what I was responding to.
I feel you on that, but I'm saying as far as statistics that are, within this realm, like I feel like they don't matter because it's like it's not the end all be all to define someone's greatness or their accolades.
But then that's true. It makes sense as to what the example I just gave. Like stats on the surface are not the end all be all. You can't just. That's why I hate about Google gangsters. That's why I call them. So you go and Google a stat and be like, "This proves my case." No, it doesn't.
But it's the person on the receiving end to like challenge them and say, "No, that's a dumbass way of looking at the data point. Like this is how I can show you different." I think, yeah,
and,
you know what I mean?
That was my response, but then I laughed, like, so what that 50 million Americans don't have a 401k? What the fuck does that mean? I can name 20 people that work a job that have one. Now what?
But that's what the fuck news do to us.
But also depends on your argument.
Suck us in with dumb shit.
Right, but let me ask you, this is probably off the LeBron thing, but you guys know the term SJW?
SJW. No.
Social justice warrior? Have you heard that term?
No.
I believe so.
Okay, I'll bring it up next week.
Okay.
But it's a term that he uses to describe people like us.
Gangsta.
But people who I assumed it meant people who talk about social injustice.
I don't mind that.
But it's like a real I don't know I'm not into politics. It's like a real leftist term. It's a derogatory term for people that, So I was trying to, if y'all were familiar with it, I wanted to know what do you call the opposite of that? Because social justice warrior is someone that speaks about injustice.
It's new to me.
Anyway, coons, right? Exactly.
Coon.
But anyway, my bad. Back to Bron.
Bron ass, he ain't got more points than Kobe. So
I mean, he will soon in another season. I mean, is that gonna make him better than Kobe?
What's gonna happen then, Reef?
Yeah, is that gonna make him better than Kobe?
Ever. I mean, Karl Malone got more points than Kobe, but Kobe's way better than Karl Malone. That don't mean shit. Like we said, stats don't dictate everything. You have to take them into consideration because these people have gotten their stats under certain circumstances. You're on a different team. You play in different conferences. You have, there are different shit that dictates how you get your stats. So it's not that black and white. But Kobe is the best player.
I mean, I think, and I'll put this up too, I think they should trade LeBron James.
Absolutely.
I think they should trade him. You'll get more. For real. I feel like you'll get more, and then you get to keep your core pieces, your young pieces.
Does he have a no trade clause though? That's what I was asking.
I don't know. I know Carmelo is famous for having no trade clauses.
I don't know, but I would be willing to bet
he does have it,
no trade clause,
but he can also waive it.
He could waive it. He could waive it, but
I don't know.
Fuck it, waive it. Get out of Dodge, bro.
I just hate that shit.
This shit ain't for you. This shit is not for you.
It's not. I hate that
shit. It's not for him, bro. It's going to look real rocky. The only hope we got is getting AD. We don't get AD, it's going to be 4 years of us not making the playoffs, and that shit is going to drastically taint his legacy.
But as Lakers fans, right? Are you still a Lakers fan?
Shit.
Surface.
My kids got to be Lakers fans.
I'm a New York Knicks fan at this point.
I mean, on the surface, though,
I'm a popular player fan. Sorry.
All right, so you like the Warriors?
I like Steph Curry.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite players too. I mean, do you feel like this is where he should end his career?
On my team, I think he's trying to hang around until Bronny gets to the league. That's what his plan is, so that he could create that media spectacle of him and his son being on the same team. That's what he's hanging around for.
You think that's what he's trying to do?
Absolutely.
How old is his son?
Bronny's what,
he's
sophomore?
He's a freshman in high school.
I think this is his sophomore year.
I don't know.
I think he just played his freshman year. He's going to be a sophomore next
year. But that wouldn't even be possible because
4 years.
No, but he would be in.
If he goes
LeBron
3
James
more years of high school,
really?
and goes one and done in college, that would be 4 more seasons. He just signed a 4-year deal with the Lakers. So by the time that 4-year deal is up, Bronny will be coming out.
That's real.
I think he's a freshman. I think he's a freshman.
So that's a smart move, though.
3 more years.
No. He's going. into his freshman year.
This year?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I
Look
am.
it up.
I haven't.
But
really-
wasn't LeBron James recruited out of high school?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
You can't go,
But you can't
they may switch
go
the
and
rules. As of right now, you can't come out of high
Yeah.
school, but they may switch the rules within these next. 4
And maybe
years.
that kid is super smart. Maybe he'll skip a grade. Like, come on.
Is what I'm saying. No. But it's not. But you got but whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that's what he's hanging around for, so he can create.
That's a
immediate
smart
spectacle
move. Shit,
of him and his son being on the same team.
But I don't think they're gonna
In
have
4
some
years,
Ken
I will
Griffey Jr.
sell you
type
the.
of
I'll
thing.
sell you the deal, the rights
If
to
that does, then
to
we
my
know-
son's decision.
That would
The
be
decision part
super
2.
dope, though.
What?
But
Let me come market that shit for you.
He's gonna be a free agent by the time Bronny's coming out. He's gonna rearrange his shit so that they'll look and be like, all right, you're gonna come out this year. He'll be a free agent, and then whenever team drafts Bronny, he'll sign to that team.
I guess that would be super dope.
That's what he's trying to do. I mean, that's
If
dope.
he's
That's
good
pretty
enough
smart.
to get into the league, let's just be real about it.
son LeBron James' son, just for the.
I mean, MJ's son, same thing.
But we live in a different era. We live in social media. We live in it's a different time.
I suppose.
So, and I think those kids really want it. I don't think Michael Jordan's kids wanted it. Michael Jordan's personality is a bit different than LeBron.
Yeah.
It's easy to get along with LeBron. You could be LeBron's son. I don't think Kobe or Jordan could have sons. I think it's poetic justice that Kobe has all girls. Because being Kobe Bryant's son would be almost unbearable. Like
I mean, his daughter plays ball, so I get what you're saying, though.
It's different. To be his son is different.
Shout out to you, because I be calling you out. I respected that.
Now, I'm Mama Sita's number one
I'm
fan.
sorry,
He does
Reed.
that all the time, though.
I'm Mama Sita's
I'm
number
sorry.
one
I don't
fan.
I don't hear it all the time. I don't.
Thank you.
So you know, give me can I?
High five,
but
Ryan.
I'm
Thank
I'm
you.
definitely acknowledging. I'm definitely acknowledging. Like, come on, man.
I appreciate
Give
it.
me
but
credit when like, come
I
on.
feel like you don't. Come on. I believe you.
Come on.
I'm recognizing you for naming that. You know, he got.
give me
You see, you ain't shit. You ain't shit. I think we should all have access. I don't think that shit is right. We all need to have access
You
because
need
that shit
to
is not
have a
right.
laptop. You
I
need
know.
to have let's have a battle.
Because it's not right. And all I'm trying to do is give you a little credit for
But it's like-
recognizing the other side. I
feel you.
appreciate that.
I
No, I
appreciate
didn't
it.
mean nothing. Like I wasn't.
Now
trying
you
to
on that
be
side.
like-
You on that side.
Why? Why? What did I say?
I think it's a blessing that he had no sons.
He did it. It's hard. It would be way
Like
harder
his
to be
daughter
Kobe
ain't bearing
Bryant's
the
son.
weight of being his damn daughter.
That's what I was.
Like she
Are
can't
we
be
gonna-
as good as a basketball player with that
Are we
pressure.
gonna-
No,
what
no.
you're
This is
saying?
how we disrupt. This is how we disrupt it. I'm calling it out. Don't forget, black people have the opportunity, the ability to be transformative. If I'm gonna be transformative, I'm gonna do it.
Define
I've been on
transformative.
record
You
on
define
this show.
transformative?
When
I said that
I'ma
I
have to
thought
look up
that
the-
she was gonna be the one that blows the WNBA up, and that his daughter's gonna be the one.
Oh, so if you said that, and I did not acknowledge that, I apologize.
I'm just saying.
I
that.
accept my wrongness if you
Yeah.
said that. If
Yo,
you said that.
Gianna Bryant, who I feel like is my fucking niece, I big her up all the time. I'm always sharing Mamacita's videos. I would never front on her. But what I'm
Got
saying
it.
is, it's real hard to be their fucking sons, like living in their images. And LeBron's personality makes it kind of easier to be his son.
Yeah.
Like he's not as demonstrative as Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan are.
And I just meant to the way that people we present things, because I feel as though it's very easy. Like you know how they have like water cooler conversation, or like boys will be boys.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's okay to disrupt the conversation. Like people will be people. You know what I mean? every person has the ability to make a type of choice, but when it's relegated to like a gender norm, I guess like that's the thing that I'm trying to disrupt.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean I was not trying to.
No, I get it. I get it. My bad.
I got it.
It was, yeah,
She don't get it.
I was actually, y'all
Gianna's
did that.
the
I tried to
homegirl.
recognize the fact that you called out and said that, hey,
And
his
all I'm
daughter could be
saying-
feeling that pressure too.
But all I'm saying is,
You
I don't-
know?
But I don't come from.
Give me
that.
credit. Damn.
No, you good.
Y'all ain't right. Y'all ain't right.
You ain't right.
Y'all ain't right. Y'all
So-
be just trying to come for me.
Nah.
I wanted to shout somebody out, but next episode, because I had the opportunity to meet this lady by the name of Bettina Love, who is an author, but like speaks about education practice, and I thought that her work was really good, but that's for another time.
Okay.
I'll shout it out.
So I want to say this officially on air. Rain,
Yes.
everybody. So we will have a game. I'm inviting you guys.
Okay.
It's Wednesday. It's
Official
Wednesday, 6 p.m. at Pave Academy. 6
I'm
p.m.
there. I'll already be in Brooklyn too, so I'm
All right, Red Hook. And if we are victorious, when we are victorious, we will have a championship game at 11 a.m.
on Saturday.
on Saturday at
Mhm.
the same location, Pave Academy.
Let me say now, I can't make Wednesday. I actually have a playoff game myself Wednesday night.
Okay.
And my nephew's playing in the Big East tournament Wednesday night at 9:30 against St. John's in MSG.
You know what's crazy? I was going to
I-
ask you if you was going to be there because we're
I'll
going to
be
be
there.
there on Thursday.
Oh, if they win Wednesday, then
Well,
they
we're
play
going.
Thursday.
We're taking the kids there to watch the Big East
that's
tournament
cool.
on Thursday.
Yeah,
That's
so
dope.
the
Yeah.
poll against St. John's
Yeah.
Wednesday is gonna be like a home game for St. John's because it's in the
Yeah.
Garden. But whatever, the poll been playing ice, so Blue
Yeah.
Demons do your thing.
Shout out to middle school basketball too, man.
Hell
Shout out to middle school
yeah.
basketball
Yeah.
coaches because
Yeah,
like
man.
it was
Word up.
very
Appreciate it.
interesting.
Thank you.
Shout out to
Thank
McCray because it's very interesting looking at you as a
up.
coach
Hell
compared
yeah.
to like other coaches.
Thank you.
And the relationships that you're building with the kids and
Yeah.
how that shit like impacts, because I've seen it like, and people have called it out for a couple of years. It definitely brings like a different element of trust amongst those boys and a different level of responsibility.
Yeah.
And like you see it, it's very, very evident. But even the way that our boys play with one
Yesterday
another
was
compared
crazy.
to those of other schools, you can tell that like
Yeah.
there's a lot of pouring in around like team and like what it means to be like the responsibility, carrying that responsibility. So shout out to you for
Thank
that.
you.
Too.
It was intense, bro. Like yesterday was intense.
What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing?
Sometimes it takes that. Sometimes
No, I
you
get
gotta do
I
that.
get Craig, but it's
Hell
at the
yeah.
same time they know like I'll run through a brick wall for them.
And there's
McCray
one of our
Cray.
boys who like he's either like on 10 or he is not, and like just looking at him like
Yeah.
just kind of he just lived in his glory yesterday,
had
and
a
like
great game.
seeing that like he needs that, and that
Yeah.
that warmed my heart.
Yeah.
Like,
The feeling of
Yeah.
playing, of
That's
performing
dope.
well in a game as a child,
and he
that's
needs that
wonderful.
affirmation
Yeah.
like
That's
that.
dope.
And it's gonna be great for his
That was
confidence.
awesome.
It was a
Hell yeah.
great
Yeah.
game. It was one
Makes me
play.
really happy.
What was the score?
It was 34-25.
Okay.
Like we
Hey.
kind of like pulled through.
That's a decided victory.
No, but check it out though. We were losing at some point in time in the game, and
Before
it looked
halftime.
really dark. It looked really dark.
Y'all
and
like
I-
the old Lakers. They came back.
No, it was,
like
it
the old
was,
we looked
they
like-
were nervous.
we looked like
because they
the
were
Lak-
playing hard as fuck, but they were losing a lot, like missing a lot of shots in the beginning.
Yeah, we looked like the Lakers when they had Smush Parker. Shout out to Smush Parker though.
That's my boys.
But
man.
it was one particular time where I felt like this team is resilient and they finally got it. When we were down and it looked dark for us, we answered back right away, and then we just got our shit in order, and that really was like okay.
What do you think
Then they
is
had a
the tie?
lead, and then that lead like before
Yeah.
it was like 2 minutes left
Mhm.
when they had a lead, and then like the lead like shot down real quick. I was like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, is this
Wait,
about to go into
Wait,
overtime?
you had the lead, and then
We
they
had
shot
the
it?
lead,
Oh,
and then they came back, and then they took the lead, and then it was like the momentum kind of shifted. And you know what basketball is? Game of runs,
course, of
and there's also a game of like when you punch, you got to be able to counter because it's kind of like if you can't take a punch, it's like it's a wrap for you. They took the punch, they took several punches, and they just showed resilience, and it was just like it was great
And
to
then
see.
the
They
kids,
finally,
the
they
other
finally
kids was
clicked.
fucking with them, right?
Yeah.
Because I watched,
Yeah.
like, and you know when you are an adult and you see
Yeah.
some of your boys and you see a
Yeah.
kid like fucking with one of the kids,
Yeah.
and they were like they maintained composure.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody punched nobody. I was just like, this is beautiful.
They finally
Because I remember our
understood.
high school girls, and they were ready to fight, and the fact that they weren't ready to fight after some of them dumbass moves yesterday,
Yeah.
that was pretty awesome. And then the fact that there were a lot of teachers out there too,
Yeah.
a
Shout
lot
out
of
to the
staff
teachers.
members. Shout out to like the staff members who came because
Yeah.
people don't have to come out on a fucking
Yeah,
Saturday.
yeah, yeah.
So that was awesome too.
It was
Dope.
great.
People who are currently there, not there no more.
They got it.
dope.
Championship, so that's what we going for.
Hell
Coach
Yeah.
Cray. They
Coach
call you
Cray.
Coach Cray.
They call me Cray.
Cray?
They call me
I
Cray.
like Coach Cray.
They call me Cray.
What are you doing?
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
Did
Yeah,
you hear
yeah,
me
you did.
curse?
I kept
curse.
watching
She
the
said, "What you doing?"
kept watching the
She
mouth
was on it,
movements. I kept watching the mouth movements, and I was
Nah,
like,
do you
"Don't be
curse,
yelling!
though?
Why are you
Yes.
yelling?"
All the
Absolutely.
time.
Yeah, I would definitely curse.
All the time.
Y'all gotta know this is a part of life.
But wasn't they about to call your ass out for being on the fucking court?
They call me out during the court, but it's like one of those calls. It's kind of like,
When you stepped over the line.
yeah, they don't really. They'll just give me a warning.
You
but
were
they
like,
won't give me-
Excel, and I was like, they ignore your ass on purpose. I think you were trying to call a timeout or something.
Excel is actually a play,
Oh.
and they got into the point where they needed
Oh,
to
I didn't
be.
realize
So
that.
yeah, it's basketball time.
And then shout out to this, like a stupid proud mama moment on Explore. There's a boy, stupid,
Yeah.
but who I used to work with,
yeah,
and I was
that's
like, I know
dope.
your face. I used to work with you in Empower. He
Yeah.
was like, it's Michael Bruno. Like, leave me the fuck alone, lady. And it's crazy because I feel old, and I'm like, I'm not that old. But when I see kids that I used to work
Yeah.
with, I'm like, I know you. You used to get on my damn nerves.
But yeah, it'll be dope. Have the crew out there and watch and support. It'll be great, man.
Yeah,
You know
definitely.
I'm gonna be
turnout.
loud as shit.
Yeah, man, I
You know.
appreciate it, man.
You
So
already.
Wednesday, 6 o'clock. Saturday, 11 a.m.
How long are the games normally?
16 minutes.
Like an
running
hour.
time.
Like an hour.
Yeah, like an
Okay.
hour, 16 minutes.
Fucking 16 minutes.
I was, if you would
No,
let me
I meant
finish.
like the time frame was gonna be there. Yeah, like an
Sheesh.
hour.
Thank you. I knew that's what you meant.
I was trying to explain, but you got not an hour.
But you were speaking from a coach standpoint.
Because I
That's
was
not-
about to break it down. I was like 16 minutes.
your
half,
audience.
So 6:30.
Just saying.
You lucky. I can't. Anyway, you just get that.
Lord have mercy.
But real quick, before we go, like Solange or Beyonce? This
Mad
cliche
cliche.
Ooh.
Mad
I mean,
cliche.
Beyonce, come on, but that doesn't mean.
Wait, damn, you mad cliche too?
Exactly.
It's like
You
saying,
feel what
yo,
I'm saying?
It's like saying, yo,
That's
Michael
why I
Jordan's
asked the
better than
question.
You, so you
No,
ain't
but from
shit. Like,
from a
alright,
creative
whatever.
standpoint,
Thank
though,
you.
who you got? Beyonce?
I mean,
Oh, no.
but it's like saying.
But
it's
that's
like
a good
saying-
question.
It's like saying Michael Jordan's better than you or Kobe's better than you, and you're not shit because of that. Like, yo, Beyonce's one of the greatest ever. If you're not better
Entertainers,
than
though,
her,
she's
that
not
doesn't
necessarily
mean, like-
better than her sister creative.
It depends on what you're asking, yeah.
Yeah, I say creatively, but I would.
Solange has more artistic integrity than Beyonce. Like Beyonce has it. I saw some clips of her, but Solange is a creative.
She is a diverse creative person.
Beyonce is an artist. She's an entertainer, and that's what she was groomed to be. It's
entertainer.
natural. It's very passionate. I'm saying it's natural to her. Like that's who she is. But Solange is the one that is like if you listen to this album,
She's an artist at its
sidebar.
core.
A lot of people do not like this album.
This
but
album is dope as
What?
fuck. That shit has
it's
been on
It's
repeat.
creative. It's just like
That shit is dope.
Solange is in the studio. Somebody said a guy left a comment, and he was like, "Solange makes you wanna be naked in a bed of dandelions." Like,
I mean, that's real.
you know, kind of like.
I don't get that vibe.
I mean,
It's very hippie.
I don't. No. So
It's
let me
very
explain something.
hippie.
She puts so it's a very real perspective
Definitely get
because
that,
if
bro.
you look at the body of work that she put out
what
from
are you
last
talking
time
about, man?
to this time,
Word.
that is the feel, right?
By
And when
yourself.
she takes you through her artistic experience, that is the feel. As a matter of fact, she filmed
it's
fucking
high.
feels and shit like that
Right.
in her with her last body of work. So it is not far fetched that he made that
He was saying like a
analogy.
hippie, you know,
she
like-
is just very hippie like.
She is.
And someone who like
It's a
who might
creative.
get on that hippie level could understand. As a matter of fact, it's funny because I knew she was in the studio when her and Tyler the Creator were on Lake Como in Italy, and it's funny because I went on Lake Como one time. And not to the degree in which they were doing it because they were like paddle boating or whatever the case is. But like I knew that they were in the studio at that time. And when I saw that, I was like, damn, I wonder what the fuck they're working on and what's going to come to be. And I know in my heart of hearts that it was this because I think he's the pianist on Almeida, maybe,
Oh, really?
if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, dope.
I know he's a part
Let
of
me
her
ask you real quick
creative
before we go out.
circle.
Transcribe, right? So Benz.
Which-
That's
It's
my
two
joint.
parts.
That's my shit.
All right.
Why can't we play it?
Real quick.
Go ahead, finish. your thing.
What's the beginning? She like, I just wanna. I can't think of it now.
And let me see if I know.
Sundown, wind chimes, break it down. So it's before that when she
Dallas
says.
never showed up on stage.
But before that,
Mhm.
she's like, for one, Genius. They don't have it right either. Because
And that's what I'm on right now too to see if
well,
like.
let me see it real quick. So
Okay.
I can
Yeah,
say.
those lyrics be super bullshit. I'm
Right.
like, what?
Oh, great.
Bro, what are you talking
Just scroll
about?
up a little bit.
Oh.
Oh, I should have given the mouse.
Hold up.
Wait. Oh, you.
Now, I love the album. The album's dope, yo.
Here you go.
The album
listen to it, I'm not gonna lie.
is fresh. Especially like in that zone.
Beyonce created the dropping the album out of nowhere.
Oh
though.
my goodness. Like creatively, I fuck with Solange. Creatively,
Beyonce
like,
created
She's
the
dope as
dropping the album
fuck.
out of nowhere.
yeah.
And Beyonce's working on an album right now.
Wake up to
Of course
the
she
suns
is.
in Saint Laurent, $100,000
On the-
funds.
And on the
And-
blunts.
Hella, but she says hella blunts.
Oh, I thought it was on and
Well,
on the
they,
blunts.
Well, they got and the blunts, but it's hella
That's what I thought
blunts.
she said
Yeah.
though.
Then she says, I just want to wake up on what? And then she says, or a yacht. I think she says, or a yacht. And they got, I just want to wake up on goodbye. What's goodbye?
No, I don't think that's what she said. Let me see. Just let it play. Why can't
Well,
or why
it
can't
takes a
you?
minute after the whole thing.
Oh.
I just want to play that part.
Selfish part.
More. Not that far.
Yeah, because it takes a while.
Yeah, right there, you can pass it.
We got a big spinning. We only in the
Back,
road.
back, 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 back.
Just wanna wake up on goodbye. Only
Right there. Back,
in
back,
the
back, back,
road.
back.
I just wanna wake up to the suns and swing the run. $100,000 on the fronts, hella blunts. I just wanna wake up on goodbye. On the yacht, in the rolls that's rented, windows tinted.
I don't know what she
Maybe they are
says.
right. I want to wake up on goodbye.
It does sound like goodbye.
Did she say Dubai?
I thought she
It
said
could have been
Dubai.
Dubai.
I thought she said Dubai on a yacht.
But then like that
Or
sounds like
rolls.
a.
But they got I want to wake up on goodbye, only I. And then the other part is the second verse. She says,
Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
I just want to wake up
Listen.
on CP time. Wake up to that
That's
nigga
my
on
shit.
he
I'ma let you
behind,
finish.
get a presidential suite.
I mean,
With
creatively,
they
though, she's
linen.
popping.
Oh, they corrected it
Beyonce.
because I tweeted them. And I
You
was like,
did?
because they had leave with their women. She didn't say leave with their women. Leave with the linen. It's a
Yeah.
presidential suite. I want to leave with the good linen. You know what I'm saying? And then in the roles that's rented. Shit
And
like
that's
that, I
tinted.
feel like that's just like she's just playing around in the studio.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
and talking like ignorant people shit.
But a lot of
she right
people-
in a rose that's rented. You damn
When
right.
you
'cause
come
I
out
know
with
that
an
shit.
album that was revered so much, people expect you to duplicate it and make it the
I
same.
actually think she did. That shit is dope.
But I
I
don't
know how I
think she
felt last
did.
week.
No, yeah, but,
She just created a different vibe,
Yeah.
but it's different. All her albums have been different.
Yeah.
Her albums to her EPs, they've all had different vibes. Because again, like I said last week, like I wished that she would have like
What's the
created
last
that dance vibe. Seat at the table,
oh, right.
Same
and Seat at the
thing.
Table had like a couple of these EP dance songs and shit like that. And
They
she
just
breaks
had more
into it.
standout songs
She might break
on-
into it for like 30 seconds on a track,
Yeah.
and then and tease you with it, and
That's the
then
only thing I
bounce.
didn't like. These tracks are like 1 and 2 minutes. Like they're like
Yeah.
30 seconds.
I wish she
minute and a
explored
half.
some of them for a little bit, but
I
I
wish she
can't wait
would-
till she's in at music festivals this year because that shit's gonna be lit, in my opinion.
Beyonce had one of the
Let me
videos
know
of
if you're
all
gonna go.
You're a jerk. You cliche as fuck.
Yo.
You and McCray.
Wow.
Coach
what,
Craig.
What do we do?
No, because my thing is, and that's why I sent the song like.
You make it funny when you
Yeah, your reaction.
Because I will not be silenced.
No, because she does that to everybody. We just ignore it, but you be like,
No, because because black people have the opportunity to be transformative.
You be saying something mad profound, like
But because Beyonce didn't put out an album and they're two different artists and she
Yeah.
already doesn't like being compared to her because she is a different artist. So like I respect that.
Yeah.
And like and I just
Solange is
respect
more
her as
Erykah
a
Badu
yes,
than
and she's like she's
Beyonce.
straight. As a matter of fact, there was a lot of Erykah undertones and there's a lot of Erykah voice.
They need to collab.
like ad-libs.
That would be so fire.
Erykah be ad libbing on her shit.
But I need to.
I think
need
she's
to,
not
I need to
named,
see
but I
a
think she be ad
song.
libbing.
I need to
I
see
know.
a song of Erykah and Solange.
Yeah,
That would
that's
be
true.
Fucking fire.
Because like when her and Janelle Monáe did Queen, like that was super
I'm
dope.
not hip.
and I like Janelle Monáe. She's dope.
She dope as shit.
Episode 27.
Episode 27.
Episode 27.
Chimon.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah.
And we out.
We out.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to wake up on a.
Yeah, that's the I don't know. That album is
Yeah,
hot
it's
as
a dope
hell.
album. I like 2 Chainz album too. It's,
I didn't listen.
That
I was just
album's dope,
wondering.
yo.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Okay, Bron with the A&R. You're not giving him no. he placed the beats. He got the beats.
Did we talk about 21 Savage at all?
No, it's,
Nah.
Is it 21 Savage or Savage 21?
No, you got the second.
Okay.
it's
Second time.
definitely not Savage 21.
It's 21 Savage.
Yes.
Did we talk about him?
Sorry, I had that.
And then she asked for confirmation.
Just to make sure, because I don't be.
Did we talk about him?
Yeah, about like what he was going through with
All right, mate.
when he was locked up.
Gonna do a little rapping for you today.
When he was locked up
Got
for
1,
We talked
2,
about
3,
that.
4,
Got it.
5,
I
6.
feel like we spent a lot of
Got a
time
lot
on
of
Not a
that.
lot
crack
of
and a lot
time,
of guns over here.
There's
Gonna
something
rap
else
about
that
it,
Let me
innit?
get that plug.
should be covering.
The other one.
Deport me, eh? Isn't it?
There's something else that we
There
should be
was
talking
other
about
stuff we
right
should
now.
talk about this week, but
Nah,
I just want to wake up on it.
Nah, I love the album.
That shit is. It's
Nah,
been on
but
repeat.
what's the question? Who's better or who's more creative?
As far as Solange.
All he
creative.
said was Solange versus Beyonce.
I said
That's all he
Solange.
said.
I said Solange or Beyonce. and I
Mad
was
fucking
gonna,
cliche.
and then I was gonna give it more context, but it went the way I wanted it to go, so it's fine.
Yeah, you can't, I mean, it's fucking Beyonce, man.
Like and I like cliche.
It is, bro.
No, because like Beyonce is Beyonce, right?
Yeah.
But she.
I was grooving to her
But she's
the other
Beyonce,
day.
like
She has a lot of hits.
She's a performer, right? And that's why
Right.
we glorify. She's a performer. Her name is not blemished. Like, she can actually sing. She fucks it up when she's on stage. Can't nobody fuck with her. And she's in control, right?
I'm not
But if
knocking
we're
her
if we're
creativity.
speaking
I
about
mean,
like creativity,
entertainment
but
value.
the fact that it was just like Solange versus Beyonce, it's just what we're doing is dimming Solange's light as an independent artist because she has an older sister. That's like that's
I
not
would've
fair
done,
to her.
But I don't agree. I think you could do correlate that to
Michael or
anybody.
Tito. Maybe Tito was
I would
really
just
motherfucking
say
talented, but
there
I
was
will never
people
fucking
that-
know
and
because you
Mike,
niggas
Jermaine
was
was
always
super
talking about.
dope.
Yeah.
I know, but
Bro,
I don't care if they
Michael
were
was
better. I
But
just
they
might
were-
prefer him as an artist. So can we talk about them as an artist independently?
But people
Why
did
do we
that
have to
with
talk about them?
Prince and
It does
Michael.
not mean you have to do it.
It's a great argument.
Be
It's a great
transformative.
debate.
No, I
Be
think she's saying
different,
it's a
nigga.
typical- It's a typical argument.
Yes,
I
be
haven't
different.
heard it. That's what I'm
And
trying
I
to
don't
say.
know-
I hear it
You
all the
haven't heard
time.
it?
What the fuck do you mean? That's why she
I
created a
don't.
whole fucking song about it.
I don't. I don't
Oh,
hear
God.
it.
She had a
Bless.
song about it. What's it called?
The fuck the industry song. Like it's not a song,
Oh.
but she was like, I'm not her sister. Like my name is Solange.
But I don't
Those
hear
are
the
dope
debate.
names, though. I like the names.
Yeah.
They were kind of creative with
Yeah.
them. Beyonce and
The
Solange.
mom was like, they are
Yeah,
going to be
nah,
artists.
those are fire names.
Those are fire
They
names.
are going to be artists.
I want to know where. What's the basis?
I heard the
I think they're
story
both
of where
French.
Beyonce's name came from. I
They're
can't remember
French?
what it was. but
They
I
have
heard
French
the
influence.
story.
Oh, they have
Yes.
Creole. They have
Yeah.
Creole background.
The mom, I believe, is
I
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, them,
Those names are fire.
And Solange means soul angel.
Dope.
yeah.
And she's really the soul angel, right? In
She
my opinion,
is.
it's very indicative of who she is.
I don't know, I feel like her
Beyonce can make
music
that
is
music,
more.
but it's
I don't
just-
think so. I don't think she
Bro,
can.
you gotta realize there's more like they're not gonna allow Beyonce that much creative freedom with her